at the end of time.
O'clock.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And it's Wednesday once again, and here we are doing this. Look, I have long sleeves on.
Yeah, it got cold.
It's like
It's cold for Florida.
winter for a second.
It's like 50.
Well, last night it went down into the 30s.
Yeah,
like we went to the movies last night and we came out and it was like 38 degrees, and I'm like, woo.
Yeah, it won't last though.
I love it.
Yeah, it never lasts.
No, it doesn't. But it's just a cold front.
Yeah.
I saw my sister posted a picture from Atlanta, and it's snowing up there.
Is it?
Yeah, but yeah, it got cold here, but I'm into it because it's never like this. So I'm all jacked. Like I said, I get to wear my long sleeves, my little Hellraiser shirt I got. I'm just so excited.
Saw Predator Badlands yesterday.
Yeah, we went last night and saw it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I liked it. I think it kind of saved the series. I think it's the second best one, aside from the first one. I think it might be better than Predators, even though I love them all. Or the Predators. I don't love them all. I don't like The Predator. Didn't like that one too much. With the crazy vets, it was just okay.
Yeah, that one was
just
all right. It was kind of middling.
But this one's real good, man. It's pretty fucking brutal, and it has some characters in it. There's no humans in it.
That was a nice change.
Yeah. Some people complained that it did have some silly parts in it, which it kind of did, but it still worked. It was within character for the characters that were in there. A lot of Wayland Yutani synths and fucking the main character is a predator. He's a Yautja, and supporting cast character is a half of a synthetic who's helping him. And then they got a little Minya, kind of like Baby Godzilla.
Yeah.
And
she's not in it that much.
No, not in it that much. Yeah. It's pretty good. I liked it, and it's set up for a sequel, which probably get it. It's doing well at theater.
Yeah, it seems to be doing well. And even we went on a fucking Tuesday night, and there was a lot of people in the theater. So.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Yautja outcast.
Yeah.
He's a weak one for his species.
Yeah. But he's still super tough, but not good enough.
He wasn't quite good enough.
I gotta say, the makeup and stuff that they did on him, because he's the main character and he's on the screen pretty much all the time. It looks great.
Yeah, when I first saw that Yautja character, the way its hair was, I was like, man, that looks like shit. But it grows on you, and the special effects are really good. It looks like a real living creature.
Yeah, it doesn't look like CGI. I'm sure it's I think it was a mixture of practical effects and CGI, but it doesn't look obviously CGI. It did to me.
And it's up there with the original Predator 1 costume. That thing looks so fucking good, but it was mostly because of the kind of film stock it was shot on. It was kind of grainy, so it kind of hid a lot of the imperfections. It looked real. This does too, but there's a lot more motion in it. The way its eyes work and his mouth, and it speaks. And the synth understands it, so you get an idea of what he says. I think there's subtitles. There's subtitles sometimes
because he speaks Yautja or whatever the language would be. He doesn't speak any English because why would he? He's an alien. You know what I mean? Yeah. They just do the universal translator thing. So the synth, she speaks English, so you can understand what she's saying, but he doesn't.
Yeah, it speaks Yautja too.
But she understands what he's saying.
Right.
Gramther says, "Is it true iguanas are dropping from tree branches on old golfers in the villages?" Yeah, I've heard that. I've never seen that happen personally, but I'm sure it does happen now and again. Because a lot of people used to have pet iguanas, and they either got out or people let them go or whatever. And if you release anything in the wild in Florida,
it lives.
It will just proliferate and take over the whole fucking ecosystem because that's how Florida rolls,
including monkeys.
Yeah, anything. Pretty much.
There's a tribe of monkeys.
Animal or a plant.
Yeah.
It'll just take over everything.
Yeah. We got a shit ton of it.
Snakes, all kind of shit.
invasive species. We have anaconda and boa constrictors
Yeah,
and
it's
shit
crazy.
that weren't from here. They're from South America, but they're here now. I think there might be capybara here.
I wouldn't shock me,
Yeah.
honestly.
I know Nutra isn't from here, but that's New Orleans area. They're probably here too. A lot of fish that don't belong here. There's just a lot of shit that doesn't belong here. Because there's arapaima here. And they're from Brazil.
Yeah.
And they're living in the damn in the artificial lakes that run by drainage ditches that run behind houses in certain neighborhoods in South Florida. And an arapaima's big, man. They're dangerous. They can
They're
kill
big
you.
and they're assholes.
They're assholes. They can jump out of the water, hit you so hard it can kill you. They weigh, over 100 pounds.
Yeah, people get killed by those.
Yeah, they come out of the water,
I saw it on River Monster.
Yeah, come out of the water like 60, 70 miles an hour and hit you right dead in the chest. It kills you.
They do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, they're assholes.
That's like
I don't think it's
that's
pointed,
like
though, is it?
I don't remember. That's like some barracuda shit.
Yeah.
Barracudas will jump in your boat too, but
Yeah. I think that might be an accident, though.
yeah, I don't think they do it on purpose. Although, I don't know. They kind of look like assholes too.
And the arapaima rams you on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They absolutely do.
And it weighs what a goat weighs or a sheep.
Yeah, it's like...
Boom! And it hits you. People have been killed.
Yeah. Bee's Nest says, what was the Predator with the Indian woman? That was good. That was called Prey.
Prey,
Yeah,
same
that was on
director.
Hulu. And it's the same director as that one.
Yeah, it is Disney, but it's good. It's really good. Disney ought to learn a lesson. It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was great.
The little comical characters are kind of like comedic relief, I think, to take the tension out of the movie because it's fucking brutal when it starts. Because the Yalta are mean, and they're mean to each other. Yeah, and it starts straight off with fighting. And the Yalta that's in there, he's fighting his brother, and he's trying to get this rite of passage so he can earn his cloak, his invisibility cloak. All those things that the Predator has, they just don't buy them. They have to earn them.
Yeah.
Through all these trials. And he failed a trial.
Yeah.
And his brother kind of liked him, and felt sorry for him. But his dad ordered him to kill him because they cull their weak. And he disobeyed his dad. And his dad killed the older brother, and the older brother allowed him to escape in the ship to go off on a final hunt to kill the baddest monster of them all. And he's gonna do it, and he's going to the worst fucking planet to kill the most badass animal of all times. No one's ever killed one. None of them have come back alive. And that's what the story's about. And he's trying to get this thing, get his trophy and bring it back to prove his worth. Because he's a runt. They literally call him a runt. He's too little and he's not,
I mean, he's still pretty fucking big.
Yeah,
but,
he's still
but for
badass.
that species.
But for them,
he's kind of little.
For them, he's too small. And he keeps failing against his brothers and shit. They're in a clan, all trying to compete for status. And that's the setup. You find that out in the first fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, his brother believed in him,
Yeah.
and gave his life for him. So there's like honor in the clan. It's just that his dad says protecting weakness is a weakness, and he tried to kill him. He killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So somebody like Zach is here, and he said something about, and I think I mentioned this when we were talking about what topic we were gonna do, like on Monday night. And I said the dude we're talking about today is called David Bieber, not Bieber. This is a Freudian slip. Yeah. So David Bieber, but as far as I know, he's not related to Justin Bieber. One of you guys recommended this dude because I had never heard of this guy. And this guy, wow, what a fucking. And I wanted to do it too because I knew that Tom would have some insights about like steroids and stuff because this guy was like a big bodybuilding monster, and he took a bunch of steroids and different things, and he was a dealer also. Like he dealt in a lot of illegal shit back in the day when not as many people did that, when it was still like a pretty niche kind of thing. Wasn't that long ago. Like the crime that he is he did more than one crime, but the murder that he's known for happened in 2003. So he's still in prison in the UK at this time. He's not supposed to get out, but if they ever do let him out, Florida it has expressed interest in expediting him here because he committed some crimes here as well that he did not get punished for because he took off to the UK and changed his identity and shit.
They'll never let him out.
I don't think they're ever going to let him out.
No.
He killed a cop in the UK, like a beloved family man who everyone said he was the nicest dude ever. And he killed him. He didn't... I'm going to say, like, most of the time when you kill somebody, you don't need to. He, for real, did not need to. Like, it was just completely unnecessary. And it was just really fucking sad. Like, just the whole situation was fucking sad. Like, what he did. He didn't have to do that. But I guess he thought he was a fugitive and he's going to get busted and, you know.
Horror movie fans in there already fucking up. You're saying, usually these bodybuilders, when they kill somebody, they're on steroids. No, you're fucked up, dude. All bodybuilders are on steroids.
Well, yeah, I mean, they all are. If you compete, if they compete,
competing, you're on
they're
steroids.
on steroids.
Yeah.
So
Steroids don't
I'm not
do
now.
anything.
I can't speak to. I don't know what particular mix this dude was on. I do know that he started young. He was in high school at least when he started. I don't know what stack he was on, as Tom would say.
Yeah.
I know for sure he was on testosterone, which obviously I know for sure he was on Dianabol.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was also on this weird opiate, like a painkiller. I can't remember the name of it. It's in my notes somewhere. So he was on that. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if he was on Tren, because like the shit that he was doing, is very trendy.
I had to see him.
Okay, see, I knew this would happen because I said we're doing a show about a cop killer.
Yeah.
And who was also a bodybuilder, and he did compete, and like he won. He wasn't like super famous or
What
anything.
year was this?
But
What
he
years?
did. This is like 90s ish.
Okay.
And like right around then. And so I guess 80s and 90s, but I think it was mostly 90s.
Those guys were mass monsters. They were on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, this dude was pretty big. And and so the funny thing was that I didn't have any pictures prepped, but then this afternoon I was thinking, oh, he's a bodybuilder and Tom's going to want to know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Like what his physique looks like. So I actually went on Murderpedia, which is a great resource, by the way, if you're into like true crime and stuff. And they had like a photo gallery. They had like a few pictures of him, like from different competitions and
With
stuff.
my experience and knowing these dudes and being involved in this shit myself, nobody knows everything that these dudes are on. They just don't, especially back in the era that we're talking about.
Yeah.
80s and 90s, they didn't talk about their stat. For a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, so who knows what this dude was on.
He's probably on all kinds of shit.
He was probably on all kinds of shit.
In those days, everything was available. And if he was dealing, he could get anything.
Yeah, and he was dealing
So
too.
he's probably
like him and
taking
a bunch of his
everything.
friends. Yeah.
Including Trent.
Like I said, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Because his family did say that once he started off on that route, like he got like he turned into like a super rage monster.
Trent.
Which, yeah, that's kind of the only thing. Because, you know, I know everything affects people differently, but just from your experiences and stuff like that, like most of the shit they take, it doesn't really have that crazy an effect. But Trent
does.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me
And
if he was on
I got dudes offering it to me for free right now, trying to get him. And I said, no, dude, man, fuck it. If I take that shit, my wife's going to leave me. She goes, no, man, she doesn't care what you take. She just doesn't want to lose her husband. It's just I got it all set up in that stack. It's not very much of it. It's just a little bit of icing on the cake. And you're not going to be on it that long. You won't feel it. You know, I was just like, nah.
I mean, you told me about it yesterday, and I was just kind of like, wait, well, if it was just a tiny amount and you wanted it for free and stuff, I wouldn't, but I would monitor your behavior.
You monitor my fucking being, and as soon as I fucking start acting crazy, I come
But
off
the
that
problem with Trend, though, is that you don't think anything is wrong. So even if somebody says, hey, you're acting like a fucking lunatic,
you're like,
you
know
don't,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. Like, they don't. So it's kind of difficult to...
Yeah.
Because it took a long time. Like, he wouldn't listen to anything I said, for sure.
You get paranoid. You think people was lying to you.
So...
Yeah.
Like, he listened to our friend Sophie, like, when she said, but I think even at first he thought she was...
Yeah. It was...
Lying.
I thought both y'all were. And then I was like, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
But it took a while for you to get to that. Yeah. So that's what's so frustrating.
I was on that shit for almost 6 months.
About that stuff is that you're acting like a complete psychopath.
Yeah.
But you don't believe anybody that tells you that you're acting like a psychopath.
I think I was on it 6 or 7 months straight. And you're not supposed to be on it any longer than fucking 3 months.
Yeah. So I think this dude...
my brain was fucking boiling.
I mean, it could have been... I mean, I'm sure like all the shit that he was taking didn't help because, like I said, he started pretty young. As far as his friends know, they're pretty sure he started in high school at least.
Yeah.
And his family said that he started kind of changing after that.
Yeah.
But for him to get to the point that he got to, I mean, I don't know. He might have just been nobody said anything about him being like a psycho or anything like that when he was younger. Like he just seemed like a regular ass dude. So
when you start taking test, and you have to start on test, because test is basically the gateway. That when you take testosterone, you can now go on and off any kind of steroid without any side effects in terms of having low testosterone symptoms. Because if you take any steroid, it kills your naturally produced testosterone, and it's not bioidentical. So you'll be on some kind of steroid, and your body thinks you got all kinds of test in you, but you don't. And a lot of functions, a lot of cellular functions are left undone. It is not bioidentical. And the first thing that happens is you get real sleepy. And you'll start losing sexual desire. Sex drive will go away. You'll be on birth control where you're just shooting blanks. And then you feel like shit so bad, and you're getting big. Then you get off of it, and then you lose all those gains. You get fat. And it's because it took 6 months for your testosterone levels to come back to normal. And during that time, you lost all that fucking muscle because you weren't making enough testosterone to maintain it. So if you're going to take steroids, you must be on testosterone. And you must and beyond the age of 35, you're going to be on testosterone for life. For life.
Yeah,
so it's dedication. It's like being one of these big titty porn star chicks where you're going to get the big implants. They're going to be in there. You can't just put them out in the middle of the night. I'm going to take these titties out. Not like that. You decided to have big titties, you have big titties till
you can't take them off.
Yeah, that's it. Test is the same way. And once test is in you, you won't want it gone. You're like, oh no, I'm not coming off this because it feels good. And so, not a bad thing though, because it's anti-aging and shit. I'm pushing 60. I don't look it, but that's the testosterone doing that.
Well, another thing, I don't really understand people that have a hard time like taking a pill or an injection like once a day or a few times a week. It's like millions of people around the world do that every day. Like women take birth control pills every day. Like if you have diabetes or something like that, you have to take insulin. You're dealing
with men. Women are more apt to stick to a protocol. Men aren't. They're morons. Basically.
Well, they think they know better.
They think they know everything. They think they don't need that. Oh, I feel better. I don't need that.
I don't need that.
And then he goes
they just stop it. They have like no discipline.
And then another thing is that it's a commitment, and it takes discipline. Most men are indisciplined and incapable of commitment. We've just seen it over and over again.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I've helped about 30 guys, and over the years, maybe only two or three out of that 30 stuck with it, and that are still with it. The rest of them, they can't handle responsibility, or they just can't handle it. It's not there. And some of them don't gain anything from it because they just got shit genetics. So they take it and they feel better, but they don't change much physically.
By the same token, have you like been to like single dudes' houses and shit like that? They don't clean anything.
Yeah.
Places a shithole.
And they go, well, shit, man, that's $100 a month. I could be spending that money at the bar. That is literally the fucking thinking. And we're coming up in our 60s, man, and a lot of these dudes are dead.
Yeah, well.
They're like that in the bar all the time. We fucking know them all the time. They're dying, and fucking friend of ours just died a couple months ago fucking in Target.
In Target, yeah.
All right. And he was my age, but you wouldn't know by looking at him.
He did look quite a bit older. He was a really nice dude, though.
Nice dude, but
he just suddenly just keeled over.
No, he lived a sedentary lifestyle, had a lot of money.
Keeled over.
No physical performance in him at all. I don't think he ever did any physical labor his whole life. He just ate real well and drank and made money. And got a big old pot belly and died of a heart attack.
Yep.
So, guys like that, they might be able to do it for a few months, but then they go, why am I doing this? I could be spending this money at the bar.
I mean, you could be doing that and spending money at the bar. Which is what we do.
It's just the thinking in there.
We spend money at the bar too.
I can spend more money at the bar because I feel better. I can dance all night and drink all night and not really have any negative effects.
Yeah, and you don't feel too bad. You don't feel too bad.
So, yeah.
I don't actually feel too bad the next day. I'm sometimes like a little tired.
Yeah.
Like, I'm mostly just tired, but, like, I don't usually feel all that bad.
Yeah. So, when you're taking tests, there is a period where you do get a little bit fucking on edge and impatient with other people because you haven't had it in a while. So you get irritable. But eventually you overcome that, your body adapts to it. It becomes your new normal. And then you can take a lot of tests and you don't get aggressive or mean. So, but now, you got that roid rage. And I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who they're talking about. It's probably a dude fucking on trend.
I'm kind of suspecting that every time a dude roid rages out, because it does happen, I'm pretty sure it's probably it. Because I've seen you take like pretty much everything else, and I never didn't notice any difference.
If anything, you get positive, more of a positive
in your personality, other than that stuff.
Yeah, trend.
That was a big difference.
Any irritability from testosterone when you're readapting to it, and that was years ago for me. Only lasts off and on for a couple weeks. It's not, you know what I mean? Every day, and it's only like a few minutes. It's not really a big deal. You just might get frustrated with somebody.
Like I said,
you're talking too much.
I'm like that all the time. So
yeah, you're like that. But then
shut up.
But for me, all of them, and I've taken pretty much all of them. All of them just kind of gave me just kind of good vibes and good feelings and positivity and confidence and I would say you feel like you could just accomplish anything. Oh yeah, we can do that. We can get that done. No problem. And a lot of times, it is no problem. So you get a very positive mentality. And I found myself just being kind of like a big friendly kind of lion. You know, I love you. You know, just yeah, and kind of protective of people. You know, I don't really get. And then I get mad if somebody attacks somebody. I'm care for it. I go into defense mode. You know what I mean? The only one that fucking made me crazy was Trent.
Yeah,
and and it's not for human use.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be taking.
You're not supposed to be taking it. It's for cattle. It originally was designed for humans, but it failed human trials because it turned everybody fucking crazy.
It's very common. I think there are some people that can take it without any side effects, but that's quite rare.
Quite rare. And then, like the guy who's fucking offering a bunch he takes it no problem. But that's just his genetics. Yeah,
like I said, some people can, but most people, every time I hear somebody talk about it, like 95% of the people say it's like, it made me a lunatic.
I gotta, I can talk about it. I can't name him or show any pictures, but the guy I'm talking about actually was biologically female, was born female. You would never know it looking at the guy. He's about 5'6" and weighs about 210 pounds, and it's fucking all muscle. Fucking looks like a dude, all right, and can fucking fight. And he's super friendly. And I think because he's actually biologically female, he can handle Tren better because a lot of the negative effects of Tren are because progesterone and prolactin. And because he's female, he can fucking take it.
Yeah,
dudes don't take it as well.
I never took any of it, so I wouldn't know how I reacted to it. I imagine I probably wouldn't have much of a reaction because I don't have much of a reaction to anything. Really.
Oh no, Tren would fuck you up.
But you think
Tren would turn you into a man? Physically.
I mean, I don't want it.
You just become a man.
I don't want it anyway.
That's what turned him into a man.
I'm already kind of cranky anyway. Yeah. I don't really want it. I don't need anything that will make me cranky and anxious and shit. I don't really need anything that's gonna exacerbate that.
Yeah, so one of my big steroid bros was a biological female. You would never suspect. I had no idea.
Yeah. And he knows everything.
He can make them.
Yeah. Like, seriously. Like, Tom knows everything about him. This guy, knows everything.
Yeah. Real intelligent.
Granther says, which is worse for the wives, their man on Tren or Ambien? Ooh.
Tren,
I think. Well, because Ambien, I mean, Now, I have heard about some dudes doing some weird shit on Ambien, because, you can get up and sleepwalk and you'll do crazy shit. But for most of this shit that I've heard of, people on Ambien will get up and, eat out of the fridge in the middle of the night and not remember that they did it. So sometimes they'll get fat and they can't figure out why, because they're eating a lot more food that they don't remember eating. That's pretty common, I hear. But, that kind of sucks. But that's not hey, my husband was on Tren and he killed a motherfucker and went to prison.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I was worried about when he was
Tortured the
on
neighbor
it.
to death because thought
Right.
the neighbor had a little girl captive in the basement. I've done all kinds of drugs, including LSD. Okay, LSD is a powerful hallucinogen. I love it though.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Trend's more powerful.
Yeah.
It's very different. It takes longer for it to take effect. You don't feel you don't feel intoxicated. You feel like you're totally normal, but you're not. Your thinking is very skewed.
Yeah.
And you're extremely animalistic. You're a werewolf. Basically. That's the best way to describe. The best way to describe.
That's why he's got all the wolf jewelry on and stuff like that.
I fucking passed my werewolf test.
Yeah, that's why he wears
like 8 months of trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cess B says, how are you doing, Cess? Good vibes, confidence, positive, and feel like you can achieve anything. That's me on vodka. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I usually feel like up to a point. Like after, if I drink too much, I'll just forget everything. But it's like up to a certain point, I'm like, you're having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the roid rage thing, I don't buy it because I've taken them all, and I'm
the only one that sounds like that is Tremble.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're taking because back in the day, and you can still get it. You can get it really cheap from the black market through the cattle industry.
But don't take it.
You could get it. You could get a jar that big right there.
Like, and I'm
for
not,
a couple $100.
And I'm not even saying it's like people would be like, "Oh, don't tell me what to do," and like a challenge. So I'm fucking serious. Like, don't fucking take it. And you'll have a good time on it, but everyone around you.
Yeah, you love it. I love it.
And you'll probably go to prison.
Yeah, you'll go to prison. You'll kill someone or fucking try to fight the bar or attack cops. You'll any challenges. Oh yeah, okay, let's fight. You'll beat someone to death and try to eat them.
It's gonna be shit like
you're crazy. That. Yeah, you're real crazy.
Like I said, you'd be calling your wife from prison.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I cannibalized
I ate somebody.
I raped him and then I cannibalized him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're like a serial killer, kinda. But it's weird.
He had it coming though.
Yeah, he deserved it. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's weird because you don't feel like you're intoxicated at all. You think everything's normal. You can't understand why other people are reacting to you this way.
Right.
You're like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
It's terrifying.
Right.
Like, I didn't really...
I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm fucking laid out like that. Indian dude walks by and says, "Get the fuck away from me, man." And everybody else looked at me and says, "She's walking too close to me."
And everyone's like...
What the fuck? Yeah, that was... that was...
And he thought everyone was being, like, all weird, but I was like, no, you were being
From
weird.
my point of view, he was walking right up to me and brushing me when he was passing me. I don't think he was, though.
No,
but it's just that your space bubble gets huge.
Yeah,
because you become extremely dominant. And I was fucking jacked, man. And you can fight like crazy. Because I was fighting on it, too. And you're not in control. Trend's in control. It's making all the decisions. It was the fastest fucking fists I've ever thrown. They seem like they're in slow motion. And you don't make any decisions to attack. Just the next thing you know, you've attacked him. And you're winning. Just saw it happen. So Soph was with me. Yeah.
It's a whole thing. But like I said, you're going to go...
There's no monkey dance or warning or anything. Dude does something wrong, you're clobbering him. There's no warnings, nothing. And you don't know why. You know why. It's just that it's like something out of the animal kingdom. There's no communication. There's no... Like I said, there isn't any of that monkey dance where you go, "Hey, man, what you..." There's none of that. None.
No, you just go for the throat.
It's 0 to 100 instantly. And you just overwhelm them because it's just out of the blue for them,
Yeah, like I said, we were kind of lucky because the one time that happened, like there had been provocation, like somebody did something ahead of time. So so you didn't get in trouble.
No, they threw him out.
Yeah, because you didn't get.
Yeah.
You didn't just do it. You didn't just do it for no reason.
I cleared half a fucking bar.
But I can see how you easily could have done something.
Yeah. Oh, if I had
because you were like missing. Well, and plus, like sometimes that you told me about later that where I wasn't there, like where you misinterpreted something somebody did or said.
The guy next to me in traffic, I thought he's laughing at me. I was getting ready to jump out of the car.
Right. See now, like, and if you had shot that dude or something like that, dude was like, "Dude, I was just like laughing at a podcast or something."
So what you fucking laugh? What you looking at me for?
You know what I mean?
Fucking laughing at. Yeah. It's weird, man.
So not great.
But I just thought he was laughing at me. He wasn't though.
No.
It was just he was talking on the phone.
And like laughing at whoever was on the
I
phone.
thought he was laughing at me.
Yeah.
Fuck you laughing at?
Yeah. I mean, crazy.
You get real insecure and super fucking aggressive. And you feel like pregnant Superman. You feel like you could do anything. You have this godlike power. You feel like you're that damn predator. No, you feel like you're that xenomorph that jumped on top of the damn APC and tried to punch through the window. You would try to do some shit like that. But you'd get run over like the xenomorph.
Well, yeah.
That's what would happen. But you're just not, your thinking isn't
You're
correct.
still just made of meat.
Yeah. I saw a dash cam from a cop. The cop pulled a guy over, and as soon as the car stopped, dude jumped out he was a big old bodybuilder. As soon as the car stopped, he jumped out with a hatchet and ran right towards that cop.
Yeah, see.
That cop barely shot him, and then shot him up, and he landed at his feet.
Rightly so.
And as soon as I saw that, it went trend.
Yeah.
Trend.
That was that dude's problem.
No provocation at all.
He was
He was riding around with a hatchet. These motherfuckers are talking about me. They're laughing at me. And then he gets pulled over by a cop for just like a.
I knew
blinking
it.
on it. Yo, they're fucking with me. Ah! I went fucking Viking on him.
I knew they were after me.
Yeah, I knew they were after me. Yeah. Wasn't on the cop.
I kind of feel like
I mean, he felt bad. Like, what the fuck happened? What was that all about?
Well, yeah. What the fuck else could you do? You don't get your damn head cut off.
Dude was out of his mind. But like I said, he was.
I'd have shot his dumb ass too.
Yeah, he was a big dude. He's probably about 230 to 240. It was all muscle.
That's like about
as soon as I saw it, it was a trend.
So, well, yeah,
Trend.
and I kind of feel like that was maybe this dude's problem. I don't really know if that's what it was exactly, but I'm sure it didn't help. It wouldn't shock me at all if this dude had taken trend at some point, or he was always taking it. I don't know.
On the anabolic to androgenic scale, the benchmark that all steroids are tested at is synthetic testosterone. It rates a 100 anabolic, 100 androgenic. Trend is 500 anabolic, 500 androgenic. It's per milliliter. It's 5 times more powerful than. So 100 milligrams of it is more like 500 milligrams, but it's penetrating the blood-brain barrier, and it's doing weird hormonal stuff. It's causing you to make a whole bunch of progesterone and prolactin, which is pregnant. The hormones that women make when they're pregnant, and it's not supposed to be in a man. It makes you act fucking crazy. Pregnant Superman.
Got a super chat from Stu.
What's up, Stu?
How was today? Love the hair, Jen. Thank you very much. Tom, I love you, bro. We love you too.
What's up, man?
Wait, you didn't go to the dollar store.
No, I didn't go to the dollar store today.
No.
Worked on a motorcycle today.
You went to Publix, but
Yeah,
Publix and the liquor store.
Yeah.
You didn't go to the dollar store. Bee's Nest says, wait a minute. I went outside. We're talking about Ambien. I went outside one night on Ambien and knocked on the neighbor's door with just a T-shirt on, my junk and everything hanging out. Hee hee. I don't remember.
Yeah.
He said, luckily they had my wife's number and they called her. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like some shit Tom would do, actually.
No, I wouldn't do that.
When you were drunk, maybe.
No.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't walk around drunk.
Granther says, which is more fun, getting in bar fights at 25 years old or at 55 years old?
55.
Yeah, it is a lot
55 on trend.
Well, that
When
makes
you're real
everything
lean
fun.
and shit. Fucking,
Like I said,
Yeah.
not fun for anybody else, but it was,
Yeah, you love
it. It was fun for him.
You're like that predator.
Stu says, "What's up, Tom? What was for dinner? We just went
We just went and got
fried
some
chicken
fried
meal
chicken.
from Publix because the kitchen guy was here again.
Yeah, he's working on the kitchen.
We couldn't really cook in there, so we just went and got one of those chicken meals. The family.
Yeah.
thing. Probably still got some of it left, honestly. All right,
I
so
wasn't 55 then, though, was it? It was 53, I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody knew that I was that old, though.
No. So so I was gonna show you. Like I said, I needed to have pictures of this guy because
Okay,
you
let's
would
see.
ask. So this is what this dude looked like during his. This is one right there.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
decent.
And,
Pretty decent. He's got good V taper there.
Every picture of
Vacuum
him I
pose.
see like looks different. I mean, there's a
Vacuum
reason for
pose.
that. Like especially after he went on.
His quads
fucking-
are built up. His calves are shit. My calves are much better than that. But he does have a good waist. He's got a good V taper. Our arms are similar. Okay.
And then there's that one too.
He's got a good back. Got real good shoulders. Like I said, he's got shitty fucking calves.
Those are the two that I found.
Yeah, but calves are mostly genetics. But how tall is he? You know, more or less?
He's over 6 feet. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so he's a heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
That's a good physique for a tall guy.
I'm pretty sure he was over because he was athletic like pretty much his whole life.
Yeah. So
he did compete and stuff.
At 6 feet to have those proportions here, he's powerful. Yeah. Very powerful.
Oscar says, "Who's that guy?" That's the guy we're talking about.
This guy we're talking about.
The cop killer dude.
The cop killer, yeah.
This fucking crazy motherfucker.
He's extremely lean, so he's on gear.
Well, everybody knew that. Like I said,
definitely.
He started when he was in high school, probably.
Yeah.
So he was on it for a long time. So by the time that he murdered the cop, I mean, that was many years later. So who knows what he'd been taking all that time. And he was like super paranoid and shit too.
Trent.
I mean, some of that was probably because he was a fugitive. You know what I mean? So yeah, some paranoia is going to be warranted, I suppose. Because he was living under a false identity and shit like that, and he didn't want to get extradited back to the U.S.
Right.
So, all right. So let's kind of get into this before it gets too late. Yeah. All right. So this dude's name, David Francis Bieber. Now, he was born in 1966, and he's also a Florida man. He's from Fort Myers, which is in South Florida. And
only 3 years older than me.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's like roughly the same age. He's a little bit older. So he's actually grew up, as far as anybody knows, he grew up like completely normal middle-class family. Like his dad was a principal at the high school, one of the high schools in Fort Myers. I think his mom might have been a teacher. You know what I mean? But like just a regular, like I said, just middle-class family. So they went to church and all that kind of crap. Now, he was actually a pretty he was kind of a star athlete from a very young age. By the time he was 10 or 11 years old, he got real into swimming. And when he was 13, he actually broke a Florida record for the breaststroke, like the 100-yard breaststroke. And he got like a whole bunch of swimming trophies and stuff like that. Like his friends in junior high and high school said, yeah, he had like shelves and shelves full of trophies. Mostly from swimming. Like he got into other stuff like later, but like bodybuilding and football and stuff. But he started out doing swimming. So he was like in really good shape because of that. And actually all of his friends from that time said that he was already like had a way better physique than anybody. Like by the time junior high or high school.
I'm going to give him an A.
You know,
from what I saw in the photographs, he's an A. Especially I'm gonna give him an A plus. That's Olympia, but they're all A plus. But he's gonna give him an A. He for a large frame, it's hard to build that kind of mass on it. It's easier when you're shorter. But yeah.
I forgot like exactly how tall he was, but I'm pretty sure he was over 6 feet. Like I think he was 6'1" or 6'2" or something.
Yeah, to get those proportions at close to 6 feet is still rough. You got to put on a lot of meat because there's a big frame.
Stu said, "Is that a Ouija board shirt?" It kind of, but it's actually Hellraiser. It's got Pinhead on it.
Yeah,
I got it at FYE of all places. I got a lot of shirts from there. They had a lot of really cool ones, but I haven't worn it for a long time because it's long sleeved. So, but yeah. So when he went to high school, he actually had kind of pivoted into football and started doing bodybuilding, and that was right around the time that his friends in high school said he started getting real big, and they suspected that he was probably started to take steroids about then because like the difference was really really stood out, you know. So he graduated from high school in 1984, and apparently a bunch of different colleges scouted him for their football teams, but I feel like he didn't really want to go to college, or he couldn't hack it or something like that. So what he did instead was he joined the Marines. However, he goes to boot camp. I think he was sent there to South Carolina. And this was kind of funny to me. I'm not really sure what part of joining the military he didn't understand. But he wasn't there for that long, and he's like, man, all these people are like telling me what to do, and like all that. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of
what year was this?
What again? That is?
What year was this?
Like this is like mid '80s.
Yeah, in the Army, it was Marines, right?
Marines, yeah.
Yeah, the service was tough in the mid '80s. It was rebuilding after the Vietnam, and the fucking military was decimated, so they were trying to really harden it up. So mid 80s was a tough time, man. Mid 80s to mid 90s, pretty tough. Then it started to get a little bit softer after that. But then the war started, the second war. But no, the U.S. uses the Prussian model. The Prussian model is the old school shit, man. Shave your hair, shave your head, bald, fucking discipline, meaningless mass punishment. The whole thing's a mind fuck. It's just brainwashing.
Why would he think that you?
What made him think it'd be easy?
Or that like people weren't going to tell him what to do, because he obviously had a problem with authority, which there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I also have a problem with authority, but I would not join the military for that very reason.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, the service,
I don't like people telling me what to do either, but I'm not going to join up.
The service, especially the combat arms units, are filled with fucking alpha predators. Everybody's in charge. Everybody. So what do you got to do? You got to beat everyone into submission, because if not, they're gonna. You can't have too many chiefs. You can have only Indians. So you got to learn how to follow before you can learn to lead. Then you work your way up. It's like joining the mafia. It makes sense to the dudes that are there. If it doesn't make sense to you, you can't be there. You know.
I mean, like I said, it's pretty common knowledge that that's kind of what the whole shtick is. So it's like, I don't know why you would join and then complain that you were being told what to do. I'm like,
it's fucking stupid, because it's all your friends. It's all your friends anyway. The one that's telling you what to do, in that case, he's the fucking drill sergeant, and fucking 3 or 4 weeks into it, you're fucking man crushing on this motherfucker, how hard he is. You go, man, I like this bitch. He's a fucking beast, you know. So, you know, there's hero worship going on in there. You know, or they're not a good drill sergeant. So I don't understand. I never really got it. I never really got people not being able to adapt to a chain of command. There has to be a chain of command.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
without a chain of command,
kind of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what an army is.
That's the whole purpose.
That's the purpose of the army, is a command system.
I don't know I thought that was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what he thought it was going to be. Like it was just going to be like a biggest badass contest or something like that.
Well,
like the whole time.
It is a tough guy contest, but like I said, there's a chain of command.
Yeah, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, well, you can't. That goes with even outlaw motorcycle clubs. You can't just go in there and do what you want. There are rules, and a chain of command. Same fucking thing. The mafia is like that. So you know, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, one thing he did do when he was in the military, he was only in there for like a year and a half. He did qualify as a sharpshooter.
That's second rate.
So there was that. Yeah, but that was he wasn't there long enough to really do all that much. Now, after 18 months, I've heard a couple different stories. I've heard that he just went AWOL, like he just took off.
Yeah, they do it.
I've also heard that he punched an officer.
Unlikely.
And so I thought that was unlikely too.
Unlikely.
Because I read that a couple places and I'm like, that doesn't sound... Because most of the sources say he just went AWOL.
In the Army, if you punch anybody over you, you're going to go to stockade.
Yeah, like I said, they wouldn't just give you like a...
Yeah, they don't just say you can leave. No.
Yeah, they're not just going to give like a... What do you call it?
You committed a crime under a uniform code of military
you get in big
justice.
trouble for that.
You're going to do at least 90 days in the fucking stockade.
So that's why...
And then they're going to kick you out.
Yeah. Dishonorable discharge. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, but you go to jail.
Right. But like I said,
jail.
That's why when I read in a couple different places, it's like, oh, he punched, and I was like, that. I don't think he did.
That's what he told us.
I think he just went AWOL.
He lied. He told.
I think he just left.
He just left. That's the most common thing.
Which a lot of people do that.
Oh yeah, they had a dude show up for basic training into the unit, 101st Airborne. His second day, he's like, can I just leave? I don't really like this. And the other guys were like,
I don't like it.
Yeah, you can just leave, man. Get your shit going. He goes, will I get in trouble? He goes, nah, not really. Because in those days they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because they had a surplus of fucking recruits. And if you left in your first 6 months, they wouldn't really come after you because they consider it failure to adapt.
Yeah, like I said, they're just separating the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, exactly.
The trash took itself out.
And he was straight from basic training. And 3 days later, he goes, I'm leaving. He says, yeah, man, just get your bus ticket, go back home. He goes, yeah, I'm going back home. Never saw a dude again.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Because you might have like some kind of like this dude clearly did, thinking about he's gonna go and do this, that, and the other thing, and then he shows up and it's not like he thought. But he's hung around for a year and a half though, and then he just took off. So
the military, U.S. military, only wants people that want to be there. If you don't
I mean, why the fuck would you want to like if you have to force people to do shit? It's like
you gonna trust him in combat? You can't have him.
Yeah,
get
that's
the fuck out of here.
You want
he'll
people
put you
that
in
want
danger.
to do it.
Yeah.
So he just took off and he went back to Fort Myers in Florida in 1986. Was obviously kind of unemployed, didn't really know what he wanted to do for a little while. So he decides to go back into bodybuilding, and maybe do it sort of semi-professionally, kind of. Now, because Fort Myers in this era, like a lot of places were, I guess, that are kind of beachy sort of communities, which Fort Myers is, there's a lot of gyms and there was a lot of bodybuilding culture. This is, mid to late 1980s. And, there's a lot of steroid use as well. So David Bieber goes there. He gets super into training and he starts entering amateur competitions, things like that. And he did win a few. He actually did win he was crowned Southeastern USA men's light heavyweight bodybuilding champion in July of 1992. So he did get some shit for that. Like I said, and there were pictures of him and whatnot. Now, so he was doing that for a little while. I don't really know. I think he didn't really have a job. He did just odd jobs like construction and shit like that. I think he started making money when he started dealing steroids because he got a whole business going doing that. I don't think he was getting rich off it, but I think that's how he was making most of his money. Was him and his friend, who he allegedly killed later. They had a whole steroid dealing business going. Now I will also note that even way back in 1990, 13 years before the murder that would get him convicted, he had a girlfriend, and her daughters actually filed restraining orders against him, saying that he had got mad and had beaten them all up, because he'd had a rage fit. Now this case got dropped, but it's still kind of a troubling. It might have got dropped because he went to them and said, "Hey, I'm going to kill you if you don't drop the charges." You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And then he had another ex-girlfriend named Michelle Stanforth, and she also, a little bit later, had filed a restraining order too, saying that he had beaten her up and telling her that if she left him, she'd be sorry and all this other kind of shit. So clearly the dude had some rage issues, even going back that far, beating the shit out of women and stuff like that. And his family around this time, like I said, kind of started to notice that even though he'd been a pretty quiet, regular dude growing up, it's he just started turning into, he was just angry and just a fucking rage monster all the time. His family thought it was steroids. Like I said, it might have been Tren is what it might have been. I don't think that steroids in general don't do that kind of stuff, but Tren absolutely does. So he might have been kind of on that kind of stuff too. So there was all that. So at this stage, 6'2". I knew I had his fucking height written down somewhere. There it is. It was in my notes. I was scrolling through. I'm like, where is his height? I know it's in there. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. That's what he was. And he just went full on into training. They said he would train 4 hours a day. He went to Gold's Gym, which a lot of people did and stuff like that. And like I said, he was on testosterone for sure. I know he was on Dianabol, and I'm sure he was probably on some other crap too.
Dianabol ain't shit.
They said that one of the things that he was on that they knew about was not really a steroid. It's called Nubane. It's an opiate painkiller.
I don't know that one. Yeah.
And they give it. I don't think it's legal to take it over the counter, but they said that a lot of bodybuilders would take it because you could train more because it dulls pain. So he had a lot of that, and he would get it smuggled in through because, like I said, he started dealing in the stuff himself because you could get all kind of illegal shit back. Well, you still can. I mean, it's a lot easier nowadays, but back then he was getting all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he started. exhibiting, the classic symptoms of what people would call roid rage. He was paranoid, he was really irritable, all that kind of stuff. He could be like normal 1 second and then he would just like flip out like at the slightest provocation, shit like that. And it's funny because I read like an interview with his dad, Frank Bieber, and he seemed like really upset by the whole situation because he's like, look, I just saw his personality just kind of deteriorate like before my very eyes, you know what I mean? And some of his friends too said that he got to a point where he wanted to be like a gangster, like he wanted people to be afraid of him. That was kind of like the big thing. And so there was multiple restraining orders against him. He would get in bar fights, and he just beating people up and shit like that. So he's doing that, and he's like, has his steroid business also. Now, his partner in this venture was a dude named Marcus Mueller, who was originally from Germany, and he was actually importing a lot of anabolic steroids from Ciarra, and they built up a pretty nice little business, like I said, because they know all the gym bros. It's, like I said, it's the same thing that Tom does now. It's a lot easier to get now because you can get shit online. But back then, this is like early 90s we're talking, it was mostly just kind of like an in-gym network. Like they kind of all had connections and stuff. And so he was the guy that you go to like get all the stuff. And him and Marcus were importing the stuff, having it smuggled, and we're selling it to people. So now Marcus Mueller actually got arrested in October of 1994 for steroid trafficking. And so for a little while, David Bieber was like kind of in control of the company. Now, I will note that there was also kind of a little love triangle going on because Marcus Mueller had a girlfriend named Danielle LaBelle. And there's kind of like a slightly differing. I think the deal was that she was with Marcus, the German guy. And I think her and David Bieber started having a little bit of an affair because David Bieber was reportedly completely in love with her, was like completely smitten. And so her and Marcus broke up, and then her and David got together and they got married. But then not too long after they got married, she decided she wanted to be back with Marcus again or something like that. But it was this whole kind of fucked up love triangle thing going on with the three of them, like with this girlfriend that he had. Because as soon as Marcus got busted and like went to prison for a little while, like he just swooped right in and married her. Like I think it was only a couple weeks after he went to jail. Like he married Marcus's ex-girlfriend. So so there was that. Now, on February 9th, 1995, after Marcus had gotten out of jail, somebody knocked on Marcus's door. Dude was 28 at the time. Lived in an apartment in Fort Myers. Somebody knocked on his door. He opened the door, and whoever it was at the door shot him twice. Once in the head, once in the stomach. And killed him. He was a real big dude, too. Like,
yeah. He's stout.
Yeah. This dude was, he might have been bigger than David Bieber, actually.
Yeah, he looked shorter, and I think he was a little bit my size, really. I think he was shorter, but like fucking with bigger upper body. Maybe like, he might have been 5'6", maybe 220. I mean, he looked pretty fucking big. Maybe 210. I'm 190. I saw him laying there on the ground. And that's just what he seemed like. I don't think he was a heavy. I don't think he was a 6-footer. He looked shorter.
No, I did find that David Bieber was 6'2". I did find 6'2", that. I did find that in my notes. I thought I remembered that. But.
This guy was, I think, between 5'6" and 5'8". But just by looking at the proportions.
Because they do have pictures of the two of them together. I didn't get one of those. But because they were friends for a long time.
Built like a barn door, though.
Yeah, he was a big fucking dude.
Yeah, big arms on him, big shoulders.
So he opens the door and gets shot twice, and like he died at the scene, like immediately.
Yeah.
Now, not too long after,
right there.
After what?
It tells you what he trusted the dude enough to open a door and fucking had no idea he was gonna get shot in the face.
Yeah.
He knew who did it. That's what I would gain from that. Although, wait a minute. Maybe he didn't know this guy because I think he sent an assassin, didn't he? He must have just been a harmless looking dude. What'd you want?
I think they were friends with this guy. I'm not sure because he kind of went. Well, we'll get into that. Because he kind of went like 2 layers down. Like he told a friend of theirs, "Hey, I want to kill this motherfucker," and then he hired like another dude to do that. But I'm not sure if Marcus knew the other kid because the kid that shot him was only 17.
Unless you haven't been paying attention to this fucking program for the past 10 years, I've been doing this. Never fucking do that. Never. Never take a job like that. Never hand a job like that out. That dude's either going to rat you out or the dude that offers you that job is going to kill you after you get done.
And here's the thing. This is 1995.
You should be old enough to know better.
Later on, they find out that he gave him $1,000. He gives him $1,000 to kill somebody.
For that shit. What a fucking loser.
That's like not even a third of the rent. What are you fucking talking about? You can't buy shit with $1,000. Come on now.
It would take more than $1 million to get me to even start considering it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's like you'd have to give me like fuck off money.
You'd have to be fuck off money, and this dude better
where I could like disappear forever before I would even think about it, and even then I wouldn't do it because I don't think I could do it.
And this dude better deserve it. You know what I mean?
Right.
There better be a good reason for this shit.
$1,000. That kills me because you guys know I watch a lot of true crime, and I've seen like a bunch of ones that, it was like a wife that paid somebody to knock their husband off or vice versa.
It never works out.
And it's like, well, one, it never works out. And two, like sometimes the amounts they offer, I'm like, wow, somebody would really take... They must have been a drug addict or must have been really desperate for money because it's like, hey, I'll give you $2,500 to like murder a motherfucker and possibly go to jail forever or get the electric chair. Holy shit.
Somebody offered me money and they weren't in some kind of contracting company or something. You know what I mean? Fucking working for a nation state. I would assume they're going to offer them the money, and when the job's done on time, when the payment comes due, they're going to kill me. Because that's what I would do.
I mean, yeah, it's like...
So I don't think I'd take a job.
No. Most smart people wouldn't. Like, why would you?
Yeah, because why would that motherfucker leave the assassin alive?
Yeah, because you could roll over on him, which is indeed what happened in this situation.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Chances are they're going to make you a patsy.
Yeah.
And you'll never see the money.
It's just, I mean, just don't kill people in general if you can avoid it. It's just too much trouble.
Yeah.
It's just entirely too much trouble. Yeah. Like, it's just, like I said, I watch a lot of true crime shit, and all of these ones that are, because I watched for a long time, there was a great show called, I think it was called Blood Relatives, and it was all ones like, where it was family members that killed each other. And some of the fucking convoluted plans these dumbasses came up with were just ridiculous. And the stupid thing is that when somebody gets murdered, 95% of the time, it's somebody that knew them. Like somebody in their family, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their wife, an ex, something like that. So that's always who they're going to focus on most. It's not usually a stranger. Yeah. So it's like, it's really dumb. Yeah. And they never fake it right either. They're always like, oh, we're going to fake it to make it look like somebody just, like it was a home invasion. And they can't even do that right. Yeah. They always fuck it up.
My army buddy, Tim Van Vacchus, he and his team killed a bunch of them. He's in prison right now. You can look him up. Named Timothy Van Vacchus. And he owned a security company that had a bunch of international ex-soldiers in it. It was like something out of the Expendables. Some Russian guys, German guys. And that's what they did. They ran around Central and South America fucking knocking people off. But they were doing it with fucking nation states behind them. All right, intelligence agencies from other countries and politicians, crooked politicians. And he talks about it. He was never charged with murder, though, which that tells you something. And they did hundreds of them. It's because there's no complaints. The clients didn't complain because they're in these other countries and they're in power. But he's in prison now for... he took a contract to kill a American DEA agent. Now, I don't know why. I don't know all the details. I'd have to look into his case. But they were going to make a movie about him. Me and him were in the 506 together. I mean, I got pictures of him together. I had heard through the grapevine that he was looking for people. It's just a good thing I didn't get involved in that shit. But, yeah. But he didn't get that long. I think he got 15 years, and he's probably about ready to get out now. And no telling what that dude he gets out. He'll probably be working for the fucking federal U.S. federal government as some kind of advisor. So dudes do it, but they do it for governments.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just some schmo is gonna do it.
Yeah, some schmo gonna hire you.
They always mess it up, and like I said, $1,000. That's just.
Yeah.
I would just like laugh. What the fuck? $1,000? You can't do shit for $1,000.
Yeah.
I'm not killing anybody.
Tim and his team are getting over $150,000 per head.
This kid did though.
Yeah.
Guess when you're 17, $1,000 seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll shoot a dude in the face. Why not? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So the dude gets shot. The crazy thing is that the body was actually discovered by Danielle, his ex-girlfriend and David Bieber's now wife. They actually have her 911 call, and I heard it, and you can't really tell if she's like hysterical or if she's like laughing. It almost sounds like she's laughing, kind of.
I heard it, yeah.
But yeah,
she was freaking out.
I think she was freaking out.
She's freaking out.
And
she said he's been dead.
Crazily enough, yeah, she said he's been dead a long time. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody
said,
shot him.
Revive him. Oh, he's been dead. Yeah.
And she, it was kind of funny because I think the 911 dispatcher. I guess, they just say whatever, but it's like that.
Calm down.
What? Calm down. Like, don't you fucking tell me.
Bitch,
I'm looking at a dead body. This is my ex-boyfriend. You know what I mean? Don't tell me to calm down. But also, don't ever tell a woman to calm down. That's like, you know what I mean? That's a recipe for disaster right there. But they're like, they're dead. And then the dude's like, is he breathing? I'm like, what the fuck did I just say? He's dead. He's not breathing, obviously. That's kind of, that's part of the definition of being dead. He's not breathing anymore. He's not breathing. Like, obviously he's dead. You could tell he's dead because he'd been dead a while. So he's laying there. Like I said, I saw a documentary about it, and there's pictures of him just laying there inside the door. Now, crazily enough, Danielle said on the phone to the 911 operator, I think Dave shot him, David Bieber, like, who was with her, crazily enough, because he had driven her to the crime scene. He knew the dude was dead. She didn't. He brought her over there because she said, oh, I need to go to Marcus's house. I think I left something over there or something. And so he took her over there to get it. And they get there and there's cops, like, and he's there and there's cops. And they said the cops were like, immediately, I think this dude had something to do with it. Like, they immediately knew something was weird. You know what I mean? They said he acted super nonchalant and everything, but they acted like he was hiding something. So he's not real good at this crime thing. And so they suspected that he had something to do with it, but they knew that it wasn't him because multiple people had seen him, like, at a nightclub and a bunch of other places, like, at the time of the shooting. So he had an alibi. But they found out later the reason for that was because he had hired somebody else to do it. That's why. So, like I said, what had ended up happening, they discovered, was that David Bieber and Marcus Mueller, who were business partners, I guess kind of the relationship between them had sort of soured. And Marcus was the one that was importing the stuff from Germany, the steroids and everything. And then David would distribute them to, like, the dudes at the gym and bouncers and just other people that wanted them. And then there was the whole love triangle thing where Danielle was with Marcus, and then her and David started having an affair, and then she broke up with Marcus, and then she married David, but then she was thinking about maybe going back to Marcus. I guess she couldn't make her mind up. And I guess that sort of enraged Dave, that she was thinking about going back to him, especially after they just got married after he'd gone to jail. So what they found out happened, because these two guys rolled over later on, like I said, don't hire somebody to kill somebody because they'll roll over on you, which is exactly what happened in this case. So he told a guy that he knew from the gym, whose name was John Saladino, who was friends of theirs, hey, I'm going to kill Marcus. I have my reasons, he said. So it's like, so find me somebody, I'll give you the money, find me somebody that'll kill him for $1,000. So John Saladino finds this kid who's 17-year-old named David Snipes, which, that kid's born to be an assassin, right?
Snipes.
His last name's fucking Snipes.
Yeah.
No relation to Wesley Snipes. I think this was a white kid. He's a 17-year-old kid. He needed $1,000 for whatever reason. He's like, sure, I'll do it. And he actually did later confess. And the crazy thing about it, too, was that you don't hear as much about this because nobody got killed in this situation, happily. But he also hired that kid to go shoot, David Bieber I'm talking about, to go shoot his ex-girlfriend, Michelle Stanforth, who had filed a restraining order against him because he had beaten her up. And the kid did go to her house and shot at her 5 times, but missed every single time. And then just ran off because he was like, oh, well. I think he thought he'd killed her. Like, he just kind of fired at her and then ran off. But she actually, none of the shots hit her, thankfully. So that was an attempted murder. So there's like a murder and an attempted murder. And it's the same kid. He also got $1,000 for doing that. Even though, I'm not sure if he ever gave him the $1,000 for doing that. Like, if they figured out that Michelle was still alive. Because she didn't get killed. But he did shoot at her. So, what ended up happening with that? John Saladino, the guy that he knew at the gym, that he had approached saying, hey, find me a hitman, he admitted who had given him the money and everything like that. And so he got second-degree murder, and he got 15 years. Because he wasn't actually there. He didn't do anything, but he was the one that, like, facilitated. He was, like, the middleman. Now, David Snipes, he got life for first-degree murder because he was the gunman. You know what I mean? I don't know if they gave him any additional charges. Well, I mean, I guess they didn't need to give him additional charges for attempted murder because, like I said, it was a murder and an attempted murder. Now, they did issue a warrant for David Bieber for conspiracy to commit murder, and they were out looking for him because the other 2 guys had flipped. However, in 1996, he completely disappeared. They couldn't find where he went. Where he went, what he did was, I guess this was easier to do back in the 90s. I don't think you could do this nowadays, but a lot of people did this like in spy novels and movies and shit. He went to the cemetery and he was looking for somebody, like a dead kid that was the same age as him. So he goes and finds a grave for a kid named Nathan Coleman. Nathan Wayne Coleman. He was born the same year as him and had died in 1975, I think, when he was 6 or 7 years old. And using that name, he got a birth certificate for that person who was dead. And using that birth certificate, he was able to get all kind of fake ID. So, like, he got a social security card and a passport and all this other kind of shit. Like I said, I don't think you could do this nowadays.
No.
But back in the 90s, I guess you still could. Because I was like, wow, that sounds really easy.
It wasn't as computerized back then.
Yeah, this was like in 96.
Yeah.
When the internet was still kind of... 1995, 1996, I kind of feel like that was when the internet just first became, like,
a thing.
Widespread.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people started having it. But a lot of businesses and companies and stuff like that, still, a lot of the shit wasn't digitized or wasn't on the internet. So I kind of feel like, because I was like, shit, that's all you had to do?
Yeah.
Because I know I've read about that. I think it was in the day of the Jackal and shit like that, where it's like, you just go and find a fucking, somebody that died when they were a kid, like that was born the same year as you or something like that, that's the same age, and you could just like, hey, I need a new birth certificate and blah, 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 and like nobody would check.
It can't be too hard because you got illegal aliens doing that now.
I'm sure, I think it's harder. It's not
Yeah.
impossible because people still do it. But I think back in the day, I think it was much, much easier.
Yeah.
Like, evidently, because this idiot did
I
it.
think they can just steal a social security number and just use it.
Yeah, well, like I
yeah.
said, I think it's a lot easier to get caught nowadays
Yeah.
because everything is digitized, which, like I said, back then it wasn't. So it just seems like it would be much easier because all he had to do was get a birth certificate in this dead kid's name, Nathan Wayne Coleman, and he was able to get a passport and everything. And
Yeah,
so
he actually was able to get through passports.
Yeah.
That means he could buy guns legally.
Well, yeah. And as we'll discover, like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, he had a bunch, and
Yeah.
he even made his own bullets and shit, which, like I said...
That's not that hard.
Well, no, I know, but I'm just saying most people don't do it.
Yeah, you just gotta buy the equipment. In the U.S., it's easy to get that.
But he was doing it in the UK, though.
Oh, okay. Harder to do it in the UK. You could get it through there somehow, though. Look, there's more guns in the UK than people, I think the British want to admit. Fucking Whitey Bulger and the fucking CIA were sending fucking AR-180 fucking assault rifles to the Irish, fucking going way back into the 60s and the 70s. They were so, and I heard that the place is just brimming with AKs. That all those mosques are just filled with AKs. Because, you know, all the war zones. And now AR-15s from Afghanistan are ending up in there. They're armed to the teeth in England now. Just they keep the shit low.
So, yeah, so he was able to get a passport, like I said, super easy. And he was able to fly out of the country in September of 1996. And he flew to the UK on a tourist visa. And he actually moved to Leeds in the north of England. And he had, like I said, he had the fake birth certificate. He had the social security number. And he said, he told everyone that he was from Canada. So he had, like, this whole backstory. And he kind of, like, changed his appearance slightly. You know what I mean? So he gained some weight and he tried to look, like, a little bit different. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't be recognized.
Try not to look like a bodybuilder.
I mean, he couldn't not look like that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, like, they used to call him, well, before his, like, not only a few days before his visa expired, he married someone over there named Denise Horsley. And they used to call, like, their neighbors called them Mr. and Mrs. Hulk. So I guess she was, like, a bodybuilder.
She was a bodybuilder, too. Yeah.
I don't know if she was American. I think she was a Brit. But,
Yeah.
But yeah. So, they weren't married that long. It was only, like, a year. But I was just kind of like, okay. I think he was just trying to, like, make it look legal or make him look legit or something.
It was a gym thing.
Maybe.
It was a gym bro thing.
And as it turned out, because they did actually interview her later, and here's the thing. This is technically bigamy because he was still married to Danielle at this stage. Like, in another country, sure. But, I mean, that's still against the law. So she actually found a bunch of... She said he was real weird. They're like, he was always living out of suitcases. He was always super paranoid. Like, he would never settle down anywhere. Like, for obvious... She didn't know why, but for obvious reasons. Because he was on the run, which she didn't know. She's like, there's all these locked suitcases. And when she got in them, there was all kind of, like, syringes and... There was that Nubane stuff in there that they think maybe had heroin in it, too. Said he had a bunch of money, like cash, a bunch of fake IDs. Like, he had all these different identities and shit. And, yeah, she said he was just real weird like that. Like, just always, like, watching his back and whatnot. She thought it was strange. Like I said, because she didn't know why. So, because he's a big dude, obviously, he's going to get a job as, like, bouncers. Bouncers, security guards. He got that kind of jobs. He worked at a couple different nightclubs in Leeds. Another thing that he did was he also seemed to have a gambling addiction. It's reported that over the 3 years he was there, he spent over £300,000, like blew £300,000, like in casinos, like over there, which is crazy.
That's a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's
Where's
like...
he getting this money from? His dealing?
I guess.
Steroids?
I guess.
I didn't
He
know
must
you
have
could make
saved
that much. From steroids.
He must have saved up like a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Because nobody's telling me he's like robbing banks or nothing like that. I'm like, where the fuck are these people getting all this money
Selling
from?
steroids, man. You would think that you make all kinds of money. You actually, I wouldn't think so. No, it's not like you're selling crack. Crack, the fucking guys will fucking come out of the woodwork try to buy crack from you. You got to go sell crack at a hotel and then move from one hotel to the... I've known crack dealers. They got to keep moving because the fucking crack zombies keep following them.
Well, yeah.
And they're just... Then they throw all the ones away. It's got to be a 10 or bigger. So they have so much money they can't fucking carry it. That was back in the day, but... Steroids is limited audience, man. That's gym bros. And
Yeah.
There's not many dudes that do steroids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And... So that means you got to be well connected with gyms, and you got to be regular in there, and you got to have a relationship with them.
Which he
so they
was.
trust you.
So I guess
That's still not that many
but
dudes,
it's not
and,
really that.
and the profit isn't very much on that shit.
Yeah.
You know, you're probably making $15-$20 a little fucking 10 milliliter bottle.
And like nowadays, it's probably a lot less because most
less,
people you can just order it
online.
yourself, like online,
The online
from
competition
countries
is-
where it's legal.
Yeah, and it's real good quality shit. You know, fucking
So
medical grade. That's why these dudes end up on Trent, because it's veterinary grade. It's a lot cheaper.
yeah, is it really cheaper in the end though? if you end up in prison.
Some dudes can handle it better than others, and they're not taking
I
that
know.
much of it, and they're not on it for very long, and then they're coming on and off. But me, I took it and loved it. I didn't want to come off of it.
Yeah,
You know,
but like I said, you liked it. Everyone else was like,
I'm basically on veterinary shit right now. Ecopose. That's
Yeah.
for horses, but it's nothing like Tren.
yeah.
You know, Ecopose and Test. I'm on that. It's nice. First time I've been on it.
High Desert says,
You get a real cut, real dry feeling. Yeah, it feels good.
High Desert says, I would think you would have to go to a hardcore bodybuilding gym too, not a 24-hour fitness. Yeah, it's just kind of like, because there's gyms and there's
Then there's
gyms.
gyms. Yeah.
Like there's gyms where just like everybody goes to work out, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that are just kind of general public kind of places, and then there's like hardcore like bodybuilder.
Yeah,
and
the
it's
one-
like a whole scene, you
The
know.
one here is called Silverbacks. You know that's a steroid gym.
Well, yeah.
That's just about getting big. Those dudes are fucking huge. But you probably couldn't sell anything in there because it's all taken. You know what I mean? Whoever's supplying them, and like I said, it's all online supply now too. You don't.
Yeah, it's much easier to
It's
get
much easier. Yeah.
nowadays. Like I said, he might have. I don't really know. Because as far as I know, he didn't have like a career or anything. He was a bodybuilder. He trained 3 or 4 hours a day, which would seem to preclude like having an actual job. So I'm guessing he made most of his money doing that. So I guess
He was selling. He wasn't.
well, no,
working
he
out.
was selling.
Yeah.
But
This thing's about these dudes working 3 or 4 hours a day in the gym and being in the gym.
Most of
all
it's
day.
just sitting
it's
around.
bullshit. They're sitting around.
They're not actually working out
socializing,
the
and
whole time.
They're drinking the premix and they're looking at some chick's ass while she's on the thing. It's a social club.
Yeah.
Because when
It's like they lift weights for like 2 minutes and then they just
Yeah.
sit around for like an hour.
you can get everything you need to get done in about 45 minutes, and most of that is fucking waiting in between sets, fucking recovering from the shit. And when you're on steroids, you really only have to do it fucking twice a week, maybe once a week, one muscle group per week. You know, some dudes are working little bitty muscle groups and shit, but they're just trying to fill the time being in the gym. You know, it's like going to the bar for them.
Yeah, they just hang
So,
out.
you know,
They're just
yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, just depending on what. And then once you're big, you don't need any more growth spurts. You're just trying to fucking maintain what you have. That's a lot easier, because you're not trying to make a growth spurt. You're just trying to maintain. You're just stimulating what you have. You can get that done pretty quick. And if you're on gear, it'll just maintain itself. Not hard. So all this, don't believe this shit that I'm working on. You do have to lift. But once you get to a certain size, maintaining it's a lot easier than building it. And he's pretty big. So now if you're competing for Olympia, that's a fucking steroid fueled drag race. Each one of those dudes is trying to fucking make as much extra muscle as they can to reach a certain date, the show date. And yeah, those guys are fucking. But the thing is, then they do the show. And then they go back to normal because you can't maintain that. They're just trying to look good just for that little fucking 5 minutes when they're up there fucking posing. And, you know, they've been preparing all year for that. And it's not maintainable. You know, then they come off everything and relax, you know. And try again for next year, you know. But that was back in a time when they could make a lot of money doing that. The money isn't there. The market has changed. Bodybuilding really is now just on Instagram. And they make a lot of money on Instagram doing shit. Selling fucking protein powder.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah, and thirst trap videos and shit.
Yeah. Influencer shit.
Those dudes are selling fucking private shit. to dudes. Don't fucking...
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's just like an extra stream of income.
They did that shit back in the 1920s. In the 30s. Fucking,
yeah, it's just nobody talked about it.
They just didn't talk about it. All those old strong men and shit fucking sold fucking... They did private shows for gentlemen.
Well, you had to more back then because it's like there wasn't a big enough audience.
Right.
You know, you weren't going to win a bunch of money like at competitions for bodybuilding and stuff back then.
Right.
I mean, you don't now, but you especially didn't back then.
The father of bodybuilding, fucking Eugen Sandow, was selling thirst trap photos and offering special viewings for scientific gentlemen.
I love that.
That's stripping.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Come
after
look
the
at me
main
naked.
show. And, he was doing that.
You closeted gay men.
Yeah, all because they would pay.
That's essentially
He knew how to monetize.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew how to monetize.
Like I said,
More power to
you'd be
him.
dumb not to.
Because I think that was the main income stream.
It probably was.
You're probably making more doing that. Fucking dancing and fucking showing nude shit to some fucking dude who's fucking in a private show. He's jerking it, you know what I mean? And fucking back in those days, you probably make adjusted like $1,000.
Yeah, it was probably like a huge amount of money.
Yeah, because you wouldn't rat him out.
Yeah, because he'd want to pay a lot, so you'd keep it
So
on the
keep
DL,
it on down,
you know?
just him,
Sure.
him and you know, type of deal.
Like I said, you'd be dumb not to do that.
Yeah.
And I think, particularly back then, I think that was a big part of it, but like people don't really talk about it.
Yeah. Well, his wife left him for some reason.
For some reason.
For some reason.
We know what that reason is.
Yeah, he was doing something.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been lots of reasons.
Could have been other women, but it's kind of universally believed that he was side hustling.
That she found out about that.
Yeah, he was side hustling with dudes. I don't think it was sex. I think it was nude shows.
Which is weird because to me, I mean, I know that I'm a modern person, but
in the 1800s,
that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, other women would bother me, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, if you were just like dancing naked for dudes that were jerking,
Well,
and they were paying you a bunch of money, I'd be like, okay,
well, just think
extra money.
It's the late 1800s. It's Victorian era.
Well, yeah, that's like a big deal.
And that's a big
like
deal.
Nowadays, it's not a big deal, but
yeah, and I think Eugen kind of fucking understood how to monetize the male sex drive, and that there was a certain market there, and he's just like, well, that's where the money is, because women weren't gonna pay that.
Well, of course not. Why would we?
Women didn't give a shit, but the dudes did, and he made sure that would happen. Evidently,
like I said, we've talked about that like lots of times before. A lot of things that dudes do, bodybuilding, getting cool cars, all that kind of stuff. They say that it's because chicks will dig it and stuff like that, but chicks don't care about stuff like that.
I've had very little response from women.
Other dudes like that stuff.
Dudes fucking. I get DMs
who
all
likes
the time.
Chicks don't generally.
I
don't
mostly
give a shit
just
about
ignore
that
it. You know what I mean? But and then at the club and shit between dudes that I know, it's weird shit. And other fucking muscle dudes and gym dudes and shit come at you. And one of those dudes turned out to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, nothing happening, but you know, just I can understand his position. You know, he's in a unique situation. He's got a girlfriend and everything. You know, he didn't have.
Yeah, they come out all the time.
They come out all the time, but you know,
she seems nice. I've only talked to her like once or twice.
But he was happy to fucking meet another dude who likes this music and fucking
is it the same? Well, yeah, it's just like everything else.
It's like everything
just,
else, right?
When you find somebody that's into the same shit as you know, like I said,
yeah,
that's why I have friends that like really like horror movies and we nerd out about that. You know what I mean? Same kind of deal. But like I said, if dudes are like just working out or getting like flashy cars and shit like that because they think it's gonna impress women, I have some news for you. It's not gonna work.
It can, but
largely it's not gonna work.
If you got a fucked up personality and it doesn't. It's not like you're dealing with dudes where dudes say, well, she has some big ass titties and you know I'm on that.
And they don't really care
Women
about
don't
anything
really like
else.
that.
No, we're not like that.
Women are more into the total package. If you're built well and she likes you, that's
Well, yeah, it's a bonus.
It's a bonus, yeah.
Like if you look good too, but it's like that's not the only thing that they're looking at.
Yeah.
Like, where I feel like dudes, that's kind of the only thing that they look at.
Yeah.
Like, everything's kind of surface level.
Yeah, surface level.
Generally.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, at stage 1.
Yeah.
And then once they get bored with that, if they don't like the rest of it, then they dump you.
Right.
But they will hit.
DVD Dragon says, expensive cars can get cheap women. Yeah, you can get some kind of women with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But generally, if you're looking for, like, anything long-lasting or anything like that, nah, women don't care.
Women don't give a shit about your car.
They don't give a shit about it, because
And
I don't even know one car. And I work for an agency that 85% of the work I do is for car dealerships, and I still don't. I don't know one car from another. I really
And
don't.
we're here in Florida. There's all kinds of fucking exotic cars, and every time you see an exotic car, it stops and dude gets out. It's an old man with a big
It's
old
always
fucking
an old
belly.
man, yeah.
If you see a hot car, that's an old dude in there.
Yeah, I've never seen, like,
No.
a good... Well,
See,
I don't
it's
really
not-
look at them anyway, because it's just a car.
Hot dudes don't come out of that.
No.
No, a hot dude's gonna come out of a fucking a Honda or a fucking maybe a Ford Mustang.
Just like a regular ass
a regular car.
Like, not
He's not
anything
come out of
fla-
a fucking
Well,
Lambo.
because he doesn't need it to be flashy.
He doesn't have the money.
And he doesn't have the money,
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean? Only old fat guys like have that kind of money. But yeah, so yeah, where did this dude get 300,000? I mean, yes, I know this is over a 3-year period, but still, that's 100,000 pounds a year that you just blew on gambling. Where are you getting that from, sir? Like, I really don't understand. Like, I know that the flat that he was living in, because I saw the police, like, when they went in there and searched it after, like, it wasn't a shithole, but it was just like a pretty dumpy looking flat. You could tell a dude lived there, that's for sure. It was, like, really dirty and cluttered and shit. There's just crap everywhere. But I don't know. I don't know where they get all this money from to blow. Now, so he was like only 30 years old when he got to the UK. But evidently, I don't know if he was taking steroids as much, and he wasn't dealing them anymore. But he was still doing the bodybuilding shit, or at least was hanging out. There was a place I think it was called Spartan Body Works, because of course it was. And he was hanging out there like several hours a day. And it was even discovered later on that the manager of the place, he had like asked him about just where you could get different firearms and all this other kind of stuff. So, that's a little bit of a red flag, at least in hindsight. And he tried to, like I said, change his appearance a lot. Like, he'd dye his hair and gain weight, so he'd wear glasses, like, do all kind of other stuff, because he was kind of paranoid, like I said. He also he rented a storage lockup. And when they opened it later, like after he got arrested, they found like a fuck ton of ammunition in there that he had made. Like he had like a bullet press thing. Like he had all the shit like for making ammunition. And he kept it all in this, and he had a fuck ton of it in there. Like he was planning on going on some big fucking spree or some shit. I don't know. And in his apartment, they found like he had all kind of like bulletproof vests and all kind of crap like that. So he was, like I said, a little bit of paranoid. And one of his friends that was also a bouncer, because like I said, he worked as a bouncer at a couple of different nightclubs, basically said, yeah, he wanted to be a big shot. He wanted to be a gangster. Like he wanted everyone to be afraid of him. Like, ooh, I've got like all this ammo and guns and shit like that. He was like bouncers. No, but he was trying to be. That's funny. Something that he wasn't.
He was doing this in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the UK, he has a gun in the UK. Nobody else has it, so he thinks he's got some. I don't mean shit.
A lot more people have them there than you think.
But than you think, yeah. Here it's nothing. I got all kinds of them, but everybody has that. Doesn't mean anything. And and it's not an advantage. You fucking pull out an assault rifle here. The cops all have those. You'll have 30 dudes with AR-15s just cutting you to shreds. Remember that?
What?
Little mini-me saw my shit and he was freaking out. Oh man, this is awesome. You could get in so much trouble. I says, no, you just get killed.
Well, yeah.
Fucking every cop has those. Every cop car has those. They'd fucking surround you and they'd fucking kill you. So you can't really use them in that way. You can use them to defend your house. That's the best thing.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, this dude, I kind of feel like because of the probable train use, and because the fact that he was a fugitive, like he was on the run in another country, like from the law, I kind of feel like he was paranoid, and also he had this weird, like, narcissistic, he had to be, like, the best at everything. Like, he had to win at everything. He seemed like that kind of person. So I feel like when he got over there, he wanted to be, like, fucking big man. You know what I mean? And I think it was frustrating for him that wasn't working out for him. Like, nobody really saw him like that. Yeah. Even though he was a big dude and everything, but I think everyone was just like,
there's
yeah,
a try-hardness to
that's what I mean. I think people just thought he was like a try-hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the impression that I got.
Kind of like Metal Man last week.
Yeah. Oh, man. You guys.
You dude was fucking jumped into the scene, fucking both feet
hair
forward.
First.
Fucking feet first and being heavy metal as a motherfucker. And people are like, look at this fucking douchebag, long hair and shit. And he's wearing fucking black slacks and black dress shoes. In a club full of fucking people that just have been in the scene with each other for fucking decades.
I will never understand people that just show up and like think that they're
gonna get in charge. And then he said fuck it, he left.
This was at Abyss last Friday.
Abyss, yeah.
Which was, it wasn't a huge crowd. You know, it was kind of slow that night. There was a lot of other shit going on too. And so we're just out there hanging out or dancing or whatever. And this dude shows up who nobody knew from Adam. We'd never seen him before.
Never seen that dude.
And he just had on black slacks, just black regular ass shoes, and just
black
like a burgundy button-up shirt or something. And he had like
a wife beater.
No,
okay.
it was like a I think it was long sleeved even.
Okay.
And he had
long hair.
It was kind of dark. Well, not dark brown, but kind of it was long brown hair.
Yeah.
And so he looked from the head up, like neck up, he looked like a heavy metal kind of dude. But from the neck, he just had regular ass clothes on.
Yeah.
So he comes in there and he's immediately headbanging.
Yeah.
Like and
hitting
getting
people with hair
and getting like way too close to people dancing and stuff like that. Like you could tell he was trying really, really hard.
Trying to fuck Shauna.
To be like cool as shit and like looking at people to make sure they were like looking at him, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of how Pookie does, like when she starts scratching on the chair, like look how cool I am, I'm fucking shit up. It was that kind of look. And so everyone, it's funny because whenever we see somebody like that, like pretty much everybody, without even discussing it,
like,
just pointedly starts ignoring that person.
Yeah.
Because they hate that.
And then he left. And rule number 1, do not jump into a new scene without knowing anybody, thinking that you're going to run the show on all those people know each other. I think he thought everybody was new.
Shauna was laughing her ass off.
Shauna was just laughing at this dude. She
just came up to me and said, well, he's trying at least. And I was like, I guess.
He gave up on that.
If you want to try.
Yeah.
Because everyone, like I said, every time he tried to like meet someone's gaze, like, hey, look how cool I am, everybody be like,
fuck you.
Don't see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go really into a scene slowly. Get to know people. Be normal. Have a drink. You know, fucking don't try to, you know.
Just chill the fuck out.
Just chill the fuck out. Yeah.
Jeez. If you're cool, people will like find
people
like,
will gravitate
you can talk to people, like, but just
be normal.
Just be regular. I don't understand this whole try hard. He didn't even have a good outfit on or anything. I think he even if he did have a good outfit on, there's no excuse for that sort of behavior.
And that outfit was fucked up. And it was funny because like I think he thought everyone was individuals and that that these are all, we all know each other and we've all known each other for fucking 15 years at least. Okay, so he's in the middle of a fucking gothic mafia and he doesn't know it.
And we're all just kind of glancing at each other like.
And he's making moves on women that appear fucking single, but no, that chick's married.
She's very married.
And there's all kinds of shit happening. And no, that chick is the girlfriend of that other chick.
Yeah.
And you fucked that up. You know, just get to know. Rule number 1 in the fucking military situation: know the battlefield. You must know the battlefield. Know the fucking opponents. Know all the players. And you can't do that. You just jump into a feet first, fucking ass first. He jumped into an ass first.
I was gonna say hair first.
Yeah, ass first. Just fucking and got fucked. I bet you that bitch won't be back.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be back.
He was really annoying.
Actually, if he comes back and he looks better the next time, I might have a little bit more respect for him.
If he learned something.
Maybe he learns something. Yeah.
I doubt it. Dudes don't learn. They just do the same dumb shit over and over. So
he wasn't a bad-looking guy though, and he was in good shape.
No, he wasn't ugly or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like he didn't look fucked up.
He made mistakes.
He had regular ass clothes on, and he was just like trying too hard.
Trying to
and it was very obvious that he was trying to get everyone's attention.
Yeah, and
but he was going about it the wrong way, and everyone very pointedly ignored him.
Yeah, and he wasn't attention worthy.
Yeah. Because we all collectively know somebody wants attention that bad, do not give it to them.
Yeah, like fuck that.
Just pretend they're not there.
There's a problem.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't confront them or anything like that because they love that shit. Just pretend they're not there.
You'll just add to it.
You'll just add to it. Then they can feel persecuted.
Yeah.
And like that just gives them more attention.
Yeah.
So just pretend they're invisible.
Yeah, that's
they
what
hate.
happened to him.
They fucking hate that.
And he left before the night was over.
Yeah, they fucking hate that.
He's like, fuck this, I'm going to a real club where they appreciate me.
Where they appreciate me flinging my hair around everywhere.
Fucking asshole.
And it's not even heavy metal. Like, what the fuck are you even doing? You're not dancing,
He
right?
was at a place.
I guess so.
We gotta get back to the show.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a fuck.
I'm getting hungry.
I don't have a fuck ton left. It's just,
Good.
you know what I mean. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So this dude, like I said, much like the dude that was at Abyss last Friday, he wanted to be a big shot, and I think that people thought he was just kind of, like I said, like a tryhard.
Yeah.
So he did make some money. Like, he worked at a bouncer, you know, as a bouncer at different clubs, and I don't think he was dealing steroids anymore. So he was blowing through all this money. I think he did actually pawn his wife's jewelry at some point, like to pay for some of his gambling debts. So there's that. You know what I mean?
He was on a losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
But somehow he managed to acquire a 9mm pistol. He got like I said, he got like all of these supplies like for making ammunition and stuff, which he kept in a lockup.
And it looked like a good pistol from what I saw. From the silhouette of it, it looked like a 6 Sauer. It looked like a 226.
Yeah.
9mm, which is a police pistol. I don't know where he got it, but that's a pretty high quality pistol.
I think he got it, as far as I could determine. The manager of the gym that he went to, like, I guess hooked him up with somebody.
Okay.
That got him some shit.
Yeah.
I guess that's
It was a real military and police level pistol. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Because they did find it afterward, like after the shit happened. So now here we are at the cop killing portion. December 26th, 2003. In the UK, this is known as Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. Pretty much everyone has the day off, and it's kind of a chill day. Everyone's kind of recovering from the holiday and stuff like that. I kind of wish we had that in the US, honestly, because it's kind of sucky to like have Christmas Eve, which some people have. I usually had half day on Christmas Eve, and then you have Christmas Day off, and then you got to go back to work the next day. I was like, that kind of blows. So it's kind of nice that they have like the day after off also. So this dude had a BMW, a black BMW. I'm not sure what the circumstances of how he got this car were, but it was stolen. I don't know if he stole it or if somebody stole it and gave it to him. I'm not really sure, but it was stolen. There's no doubt about that. Now, this was in Leeds, and he had parked it kind of fucked up. Like, it was kind of half on the sidewalk and like half on the curb, sort of. Like at a weird angle. And he was sitting in the car reading the Racing Post and like eating a chocolate bar.
So he's a wanted man, and he buys and then drives a stolen fucking Mercedes.
Or gets a stolen car from somewhere. Because it was for sure stolen.
Dumb as fuck. But he's got a legal ID.
He does, yeah. Under a name that's not under Nathan Wayne Coleman. That's who he was living as.
Why would he put himself out like that? You gotta be stupid as a motherfucker.
He is an idiot.
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot. That's why.
So had he not fucking gotten that car, he probably would have gotten.
I think he would eventually got caught, but
he might have bought himself another decade.
But he might have, because the thing about it was that the crime, like the dude, like Marcus Mueller, the guy that he paid that dude to shoot, that was like back in like 96 or something. This is 2003. Yeah. So he's been on the run for like 8 years. You know, 7-8 years.
And he's in a new continent now where you would think that you could get away with it.
Just dumb. I'm not saying like, you know.
He moved to an English speaking country though. That's weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I think he was planning on going somewhere else because when they caught him, he had a bunch of stuff. They think he was going to France, but they caught him before he went there.
I would have gone further away. I would have gone to Eastern Europe. That's what I would have done. I would somewhere with that ID and started a whole new life.
Yeah, well, he was smart enough to get the ID, but he wasn't smart enough to, like, go... I don't know. It's just, I don't know what the fuck he was up to. Like I said, he seems like he wasn't the brightest bulb. So, he's sitting in this car, and these two cops, they're just traffic cops, they said, it was Boxing Day, there's not usually a lot of traffic or a lot of people out because a lot of people are off work and just kind of chilling out at home with their families or whatever. So it's like there's usually a pretty slow day. They said they saw this car parked, and the surviving cop of this, Neil Roper, who was the guy that survived, he said, we'd been doing like traffic cop shit so long that we could like tell like when something was suspicious or a car was stolen or something like that. So it's like, so we drive up and we see this car parked kind of funny. Like it looked kind of weird. And so they decided to kind of pull him over or go up to him and see what the deal was. And they ran the plates and they did discover, obviously, that it was stolen. So at this point, they decide they're going to detain the driver. Now, this is kind of interesting because they sensed, when they interviewed the dude, David Bieber, who was going by Nathan Wayne Coleman at this stage, they said he seemed pretty calm and chill at first. He was just like reading a paper and eating a chocolate bar, and he didn't seem like upset or anything like that. But Neil Roper, the surviving cop, he said, we have the button in the car that's like, hey, record everything, like the dash cam. And he's like, in all the times that I have worked as a traffic cop, I've never turned that on because I never felt like I needed to. He's like, this day I did, though. He's like, I just felt, they felt something was off about the dude. Like it was like some kind of anxiety or something. So once they discover that the car is stolen, they go up to him and they're real, because it's all recorded. You can see it like, it's on YouTube. And they go up to him and they're friendly. They're not hostile or anything like that. They're like, hey, this car's stolen. Can you kind of come? Do you want to sit in the back of the police car, like so we can figure out what's going on? And David Bieber does that. Now he gets in the back of their police car. Now they did not search him. They did not cuff him. They wouldn't normally, like in this type of situation, because it was just a routine traffic stop. So they didn't really, they thought they were a little uneasy, but they didn't really think, especially because the dude was so big, like, cause he was 6'2", he was all muscle bound and everything. And, and they don't, traffic cops in UK generally do not carry guns. Like, some of they have SWAT teams and shit like that, and they have guns, but the regular beat cops and shit generally don't carry them. So, so they were kind of like, so they didn't search him or nothing. So, but he complied. He got in the back of the police car and he seemed pretty calm. Although they did, like I said, sense a little bit of unease, which kind of made them call like another cop, like, hey, can you guys come and like assist? You know what I mean? Just in case. Now, after they figure out that the car is stolen and there's all this other kind of shit going on, then they decide, we're going to put cuffs on this dude. Now, evidently what happened, now they asked him at first, they said, where are you from? And he said Leeds, which is where they were. That's where he lived. He did have a flat there. And they said, well, what's your country of origin though? Because they could tell, like, from how he talked, obviously they didn't have a British accent. He said Canada. He told them he was from Canada. It's on the recording. So they decided, it's like, step out of the car, we're going to put the cuffs on you. Now, before they could do that, dude reached into his pocket real quick, pulled out his 9mm and started shooting. They said it was literally like 2 seconds and he got like 4 or 5 shots off. Like he just started shooting. Now, 3 cops were shot because by this point, like, a backup, like 2 backup cops had shown up, and he just started firing. Now, the one who was killed eventually, Ian Broadhurst, who was 36 years old, father of 2, like I said, he seemed like a nice man. Everybody was talking about how cool he was. He got shot in the stomach at first, and then he fell to the ground. Neil Roper, I believe, got shot in the arm. One of the other cops got shot, but lucky for him, like, it bounced off his police radio, like it ricocheted off him, and he was all right. But but 3 cops were shot. So Ian Broadhurst shot in the stomach, and he lays down on the ground. Obviously the other cops are, freaking, one of them kind of crawls away, like, trying to get help and stuff. And at this point, David Bieber, like, all the cops are wounded or have gone to get help. You know what I mean? Because there's only a couple of them around. He very well could have just ran, and they probably wouldn't have caught him. But he didn't do that. He stood over Ian Broadhurst, who was on the ground, like, with his fucking stomach all fucked up because he'd been shot in the stomach. And he waited for like 5 seconds, and you can hear the cop saying, "Please don't shoot me." And then he just shot him in the fucking head. And then he left. So, and one of the things that they said when they caught him later, that the judge said, it's like, you could have just run away. You didn't have to shoot him. Like, he might have died anyway because his injuries, like, to his stomach were pretty bad. But the fact that he just stood over him and executed him like that was, like, super fucking cold-blooded when he could have just run. Yeah. That he waited that time to do that. That's what really got people.
Did he ever say what he was thinking?
No. He didn't say a fucking word, actually, when they brought him. Nothing.
He must have thought he had to eliminate all witnesses.
Well, like I said,
but he left other 2 witnesses.
Yeah, because there were 3 other cops there, and 2 of the other cops got shot too, but they lived, but they got away. So it's like the fact that he stayed that extra, 5 to 10 seconds just to execute that dude, who was on the ground. He couldn't get up and chase him or nothing.
He must have been thinking about it. He never said anything, though.
No, he never did. But it's just fucking crazy. So
I guess he thought that guy got too good of a look at him.
Maybe so. But it's just because that's fucking cold-blooded, man.
Because he didn't have any reason to do it personally.
No, he didn't know this dude.
There was no personal reason.
There was just 2 cops that stopped him because they thought the car looked funny because he parked it all fucked up.
Yeah.
And they thought, oh, maybe the car's stolen, which it was.
Yeah, and the cop didn't give him any shit.
No, they were actually, like I said, the whole thing was recorded.
Professional, yeah.
And they were actually pretty chummy.
He must have.
They're like, "Hey, mate, what's up? Where are you from?" Like, blah blah blah. They were like real.
He must have thought that cop got too good of a look at him.
Maybe so.
And he was thinking, "I think I have to kill this guy."
Yeah.
And then the guy's going, "Don't do it, don't do it." He goes, "Oh shit!" Now he's begging. Fuck it, I gotta get this over with. Pow, like that.
And then he just shot him in the fucking head.
When
which killed him. Like he died on the way to the hospital, actually.
Yeah, which. No, it'd have been better for him had he not done it. He'd been out of prison by now, probably.
That's what I mean. That's what was fucking stupid about it. It's like, not only is it horrible, like, you didn't have to do it. The dude was incapacitated. Yeah. And you could have just run away.
The other 2 cops were unarmed, so you actually didn't have to shoot them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the judge said too. It's like, you didn't have to do that. Yeah. You could have just run.
Right. They probably wouldn't have followed him. But his thinking was American, though. I think he had American style thinking. He figured cops were armed, and he just felt that the default thing is you got to engage the cops. He thought they would follow him, something.
But like I said, that dude wasn't following him because he was laying on the ground.
Kind of a product of the United States. If you're gonna go up against the cops and take no prisoners type. When I don't mean to offend any British people, but from what I've seen of British cops, some of them are kind of like bar bouncers by American standards, or mall cops. They're not real cops by our standards. Our police are militarized. They got AR-15s and pistols and They shoot first, ask questions later. And you threaten a cop with anything, they kill you here. You know, it's like Judge Dredd. Because that's the environment we're in. You know, the only person that would threaten a cop is somebody who would kill a cop. The guns are everywhere here. So they
yeah, because if you threaten a cop, they're gonna shoot you.
Yeah, you threaten a cop, they kill you.
They're just gonna shoot.
Yeah. Now they'll go apply first aid on your bullet-ridden body.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you know, so it's a lot harsher. There's a lot of harsher Darwinistic fucking environment here. You know. Only real idiots or real fucking dangerous motherfuckers defy the police. Either one usually results in death. I mean, I just go, there's a fucking great channel on YouTube called Police Activity. It has all the body camera footage and it's all up to date. They fucking load shit every day. And just see how stupid American people are. That they'll just throw their life away for nothing.
No argument here.
For nothing. Dude's getting pulled over for a fucking bad license plate, or his driver's license is suspended, and he jumps out of the cop and jumps out of his car and charges the cop with a fucking butcher knife, and they fucking lay him low, just in a hail of gunfire, just because he didn't want to get in trouble for having a suspended license. That's how stupid.
Which they don't even do much of anything.
They're not gonna do much to you.
For that, you might get a fine, maybe.
Yeah. So.
Or maybe a little, like a month in jail, but maybe not even that.
And I don't blame the cops. I would do the fucking same thing.
Well, if somebody comes at me with a knife,
someone comes at you to fucking kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot
over your fucking license plate because you don't want to fine or you don't want to go to jail for a day. But fuck you. But you know, life is a lot cheaper here in the United States. It's just. But life's better. But we got stupid people here. They're really fucking dumb. And Graptors is on there, went to high school with him. He was a cop. He'll tell you, these motherfuckers are dumb. And they just get weeded out. Darwinistic selection. Some people are just too dumb to live in a civilization. It's a shame, but truth hurts. If you get pulled over with the cops, just fucking do what they want. Yield. You know what I mean? Fucking, they tell you get on the ground, get on the fucking ground. If you don't get on the ground, they think you're going to kill them. And then they're going to shoot you because you didn't get on the ground. Get on the fucking ground. Well, I ain't getting on the ground for these motherfuckers, and then they're going to kill you. You know, your pride ended up you getting fucking riddled with 5.56 rounds and 9mm rounds. Because the cops think you're trying to kill them. It's if you're not obeying, you know. Because people do that here. There's all kinds of videos of them killing the cops. Americans are much more dangerous.
This dude here, I understand he was a fugitive and he probably didn't want to get extradited back to the U.S. for, you know, for conspiracy to commit murder. He didn't pull, I mean, on Marcus Mueller, he didn't pull the trigger himself, but they had ample evidence that he was the one that had paid for that to be done, so he was still going to go to prison. So I can see why he was paranoid, but like I said, if you were going to stay on the run and you'd already shot 3 cops and wounded them, and one of them was on the ground, why wouldn't you just run away? Like, you might have gotten away, like, and he was going to go to another country anyway because he was already stockpiling money and ammunition and stuff. But it's like, just to stand there for those 5 to 10 extra seconds just to execute that dude in cold blood like that makes me think that he wasn't thinking as rationally. I mean, obviously he's not, but it's just kind of like, why the fuck would you do that? It just seems like really senseless. Like, all this kind of stuff is like really senseless. So yeah, so he executes this dude, right? And then he takes off. Now, and it's pretty horrible. Like, I heard the recording, which, you know, I didn't watch it, but you can hear the gunshots, and then it's pretty horrible too, because then, like, a couple of, like, civilians who were walking by in the area, they saw what happened, and the one woman comes and, like, uses the police radio and is trying to call for help, like, for backup, and that's pretty upsetting, and talking about, like, how they're on the ground and everything. Now, so the dude got away. And later on, they were able to actually get fingerprints off of the newspaper he'd been reading and the candy bar wrapper, because he'd been eating a candy bar, like, in the car. And they were able to get fingerprints off that, and they ran them through the system and anything like that, and they couldn't find anybody in the UK, you know what I mean? But because he had that accent, now they weren't sure. He said he was from Canada. So it's like, so we checked with the Canadian authorities. They didn't have any records on this dude either. And then they sent the tape to like a voice expert guy. And he's like, well, that dude's from the southern US, like is what that accent is. Which he was right. He was from Florida. So at that point, they knew that he had lied about being Canadian and that he was American. And then at that point, they contacted American authorities, the FBI and everything like that. And it turned out when they ran the fingerprints that his name was actually not Nathan Wayne Coleman, but David Bieber. And he was wanted for murder in Florida. So they're like, oh, well, that explains that. You know what I mean? Interestingly, the cop that got shot, Ian Broadhurst, that was the first English police officer that had been killed in like 8 years in the UK, which is crazy because
that happens all the time.
That happens like every day, like in the US.
We're Americans.
But like it was a big deal, like you know what I mean.
We're
like it doesn't happen.
Sorry, you just got a little taste of Americana. What you guys got that's normal here. You got to be careful who you let in your country. That motherfucker there. And what was funny is that he'd been run the mill here. We got grade A predators here. This one's more like a grade B. You know.
The weird thing about this dude is that he's just doing shit like without thinking about it. Really, he doesn't really seem to have like an end game or anything. Like he's not even like a serial killer. He's just kind of like almost. I don't even want to say impulsive. Maybe he is impulsive. So I feel like he's just doing dumb shit. Hey, I'm gonna hire somebody to like kill my best friend and business partner. Yeah. Oh, and then hey, I'm gonna hire somebody to kill my ex-girlfriend, but they missed. Yeah. Then I'm gonna run to another country, and then he stayed there for a while, and he didn't commit any crimes that anybody knows of for a while. But then he just kills a cop when they just stopped him for like a routine. Even if they'd busted him, because he did say on the tape, I didn't steal this car, by the way, which I don't know if that was a lie or not. I don't know where he got the car from. He was just in it. Like, I never saw anything that said where he got that car from. So I don't know if he stole it or if somebody else stole it and he bought it, or I don't really know. Like, he was just sitting in it. He just said, I didn't steal it. Like, he says that on the tape. Because, like I said, the cops, when they first approached him, they were not hostile. They were not nothing. They were, like, pretty friendly. They were just trying to suss out, like, what the fuck was going on. And he just went fucking apeshit. You know what I mean? And started shooting. So they couldn't find out, they didn't know who he was from the fingerprints. However, because UK is just, like, full of, like, fucking CCTV, like, they have cameras everywhere. So they did actually have some footage of him buying the newspaper and the candy bar, like, from a shop, like, right there. Like, not long before the shooting. Now, the CCTV footage was not great. Like, I've seen it. It's pretty grainy. But they showed it on Crime Watch and everything like that. But they couldn't really identify him all that good. And like I said, but they did later identify his voice, that he was American. And at that point, they found out what his real identity was. Now, at this stage, because they know this guy is on the lam, and also, when they found out who he was and they found his storage lockup and they went in there and found like a fuck ton of ammunition and all this other kind of shit. And then they went and found out where his flat was. And then they went in there and there was a bunch of firearms. It was a bunch of like bulletproof vests. It was all kind of shit in there. So it was like, so obviously this dude is dangerous. You know what I mean? So we need to like collar him like ASAP. So they had like 1,000 officers on the case. They called the thing, I think they called it Operation Cobalt, which I think at that stage was the biggest manhunt since the Yorkshire Ripper, which is like we did a show about the Yorkshire Ripper too, good old Peter Sutcliffe, serial killer. Because they wanted to find this fucking dude. They're like, look, anybody that would just shoot a fucking cop in cold blood like that, I mean, and had a whole fucking lockup full of ammo and all this other kind of shit, it's obviously not planning anything good.
So it's like practicing somewhere.
I'm not really sure. He might have been, but
he had military experience.
He did, yeah.
And he was born in the South, huh?
Florida, yeah. He's Florida. He's Florida man.
Yeah.
He's a Florida man. I'm sure that will shock no
South
one.
Florida, though, he's kind of he wasn't from a rural area. He wasn't from the Panhandle or anything.
No, Fort Myers is like a pretty. It's not a huge town, but it's like a big.
So he didn't grow up shooting, probably.
Not
like me. Like
maybe
10,
not. I'm not really.
Fucking with fucking semi-auto 22s and shit, and hunting. He was more of a. I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't speak for him, but wasn't as country as I grew up.
Now, the hilarious thing about this guy, like I said, not the sharpest tool in the shed, let's say. So he was kind of big at, even his wife at the time, like, said he had all these, like, fake IDs and stuff, and he was always kind of trying to change his identity, like dyeing his hair different colors and stuff like that. So after he killed the cop, his first instinct was, I'll dye my hair, which isn't a stupid thing to do, but he dyed it, like, red, orange.
Okay, yeah.
Like I think I have
magnet.
I think I have a picture of that too.
Yeah.
Like, look, see, he did that, which to me looks like he was trying to bleach it, and it did that.
Yeah.
So he's this big meathead.
Yeah.
With ginger hair.
Yeah.
And he's
trying to blend in.
I mean, he already stands out anyway because he's an American and he's all roided out. And now he has like this fucking ginger ass hair, which is going to make people notice him even more.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened. I mean, that's really stupid. You want to blend in, not stand out. Now, interestingly, so it's New Year's Eve. He's on the run at this stage, like after he killed Ian Broadhurst. It's been like 5 days. 4 or 5 days. So it's now New Year's Eve. And people kept seeing him, like, in different places. So, tips were coming in and everything like that. Now, he was going from city to city. Like I said, he's trying to hide. And they, went through his flat and everything like that and found his bulletproof vest and all the shit that he had. Now, he ended up at this place called the Royal Hotel in Gateshead. And he got a room there. And by all accounts, he was going to, because he had all this money with him and fake IDs and stuff. I think he was going to take a train, I believe in York, and he was going to go to France, because I think he had like a train ticket. So they think he was going to flee the country. So he's at this hotel. Now, the hero woman that was working at the desk, when he checked in, she said, man, this dude was like really fucking weird looking. It's like he had this ginger hair that was like sticking out. He had this woolly hat on that was pulled way down.
Yeah.
And he had these big, stupid, like square glasses on. And she's like, and he was so funny looking, and she's like, and he's
in his disguise.
And he gave me this weird fucking vibe.
Yeah.
She couldn't put her finger on it. She was just like, man, this dude's so fucking weird.
Because he was in disguise.
Yeah, and she was working there overnight, and she was like the only one that was working there, and there weren't that many people staying in the motel, so she was like a little bit nervous, as she would be.
Yeah.
And he was a big fucking dude, So she's just like, okay. So she gave him the room. And then afterwards, she was thinking about it. She's like, man, what, like, that motherfucker, like, why was he so weird and everything? And then she realized, she picks up the paper, which had a picture of him.
Yeah, and there he
because
is.
He was and she drew the glasses on him and the hat. And she's like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's him. And she called the cops. And I was like, man, good for her.
He'd have done better just to fucking dye his hair black and put on a fucking Florida fucking Hawaiian looking shirt. And been American as a motherfucker in there acting like a tourist and fucking probably would have drawn a lot less attention.
Yeah, I mean, what the...
Hey, I'm just in from America. Just be super
just
fucking
be,
stereotypical.
Just be loud and obnoxious as fuck.
Super stereotypical. They probably wouldn't...
They're like
Americans.
Americans.
Throw them off, yeah.
I mean, look, I lived in the UK for a little while, and I understand why people in other countries have stereotypes about Americans, because a lot of them are the fucking worst.
Yeah, well, normies are
They're the fucking
stereotypical.
worst.
Yeah.
They're very loud.
Yeah.
I mean, Americans are too loud for me, even,
Yeah.
and I am an American. Like,
Depends on
they are
situation.
very loud.
Depends on the situation. But no, the ones that travel fucking call attention to themselves and fucking... Man, I was in Brazil, fucking when I lived in Brazil, Americans would show up and they were just gringo as a motherfucker. They couldn't blend in.
Yeah.
It's
like, chill the fuck out. Like I said, they're very, like the dude at the club the other night, they're very try-hard.
Real try-hard.
They want attention.
See them,
they want everybody to pay attention to them. And they want everyone to cater to them.
Yeah.
Even though, you're in someone else's country and like, why the fuck would you pay attention?
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
Like, shut the fuck up.
It doesn't work when you're living in somebody else's country. They actually appreciate it more if you're blending in with them and fucking living their ways and knowing their culture.
Yeah.
And you know, and just being just normal person. You know, they like that a lot better. Of course.
This is what I always heard when I was growing up. You know, everybody always said, "Oh man, the French, they're such assholes and they hate Americans and stuff like that." As I grew older and like knew French people and knew people that had gone to France and stuff like that, said the French are not assholes. They're assholes if you go to France and you insist on yelling at them in English, and a lot of them speak English. But if you're an asshole like that to them and you won't at least attempt French or like try to be polite or something like that, they will pretend they don't. Because you're being
here.
Yeah, because you're being a jerk.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. I would do the same thing.
I've run into
So it's like so because I've heard like people is like if you go over there and you're really respectful and you at least try to speak French even if you're shitty at it, they're super nice.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like, no, it's okay. I speak English. You know what I mean? You know, please stop. Please stop what you're doing. But at least you tried.
Run into a bunch of French fucking up in Boston and shit. They're all right. You just hanging out in the goth scene and shit. But then again, they were goths, so
that's kind of a different thing.
It's a different deal, yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like everyone's going to be an asshole to you if you are an asshole.
Yeah.
If you're going in there being obnoxious and trying to draw attention to yourself and stuff like that, yeah, everyone's going to be a dick to you, and rightly so, because you're being a dick. You know? If you go in there trying to be cool and trying to be chill.
You got to mitigate all this, though, too, because, fucking being in the South, I've seen hardcore Southerners and how they'll treat outsiders. They'll be total assholes to them.
Well, I've seen that, too.
You show up with a
But that's kind of, I mean, that's...
You show up with a super Yankee accent around a bunch of Southerners and shit, and they're like, especially places like
But that's shitty, too, especially if people are trying to be nice to you.
It exists in other places like
it does,
that,
yeah, it's everywhere.
That attitude's everywhere.
Some people are assholes just for no fucking reason. I get it. Yeah. But most of the time, like I said, if you're a tourist in another country and you're just being a douche and trying to draw attention to yourself and yelling at everybody in English and being mad they don't understand you and all this other kind of stuff, then yeah, people are probably going to be dicks to you in retaliation. Yeah. Because you're being a dick. And why should we have to put up with your nonsense?
If you fit in, if you fit in, you act right, you just be normal, it doesn't really matter where you're from. I'll be up at the fucking Oasis fucking biker bar. It's just redneck as a motherfucker. And you have Central Americans coming in. They're probably from fucking El Salvador. They're working on these fucking cattle and horse ranches around here. And they'll go in there and fucking have tequila and drink. They're country as fuck. And fucking Amy will fucking pull her titties out on them and shit and get tips and shit. And they're foreign as hell. But they're cowboys. So they know how to act. You know what I mean? People aren't being rude to them because they're kind of just like part of the scene. You know? Everybody knows their form, and but they're here legally because they're on these farms. They have work permits and shit, and they just act normal. You know. Yeah.
Like I said, if you just chill out and act normal and you're just polite and nice and everything like that, 99% of the time people will be nice back to you.
Yeah, even in places where you would think that they're gonna fucking pick on them dudes. No, they don't.
I gotta pee.
They're not. Because they know how to handle themselves. People forget that Central Americans, fucking non-Southerners, these motherfuckers up in California and New York, forget how they talk about Hispanics, people from Central America. They don't realize how cowboy they are. They've been fucking wearing cowboy boots and shit, cowboy hats. They're working on these farms here. They're country as fuck. And they come here in the deep south and they do well because it's a very similar culture. They're religious. They go to church. It's Catholicism, but they're not, they're not fucking Protestant, but they're Catholic. They drink tequila. They fucking listen to music and go to bars. It's an honor culture. They're good to women. They're very polite to women, so they're not sexist or anything. And they get along real well, And here's another thing is that they've been here in the South for fucking hundreds and hundreds of years. Florida is was part of the Spanish Empire, and they already had Indians here before the British Empire took over later on. So you know what I mean. They're from here. They're part of the scene. They've been here for fucking hundreds of years. It seems like the outsiders don't know that though.
I guess not.
That Southerners fucking are very used to Hispanics. They've just been here for hundreds of years.
They were here before we were.
Yeah, I have Spanish fucking names in my family. My grandfather's name was Bolivar. It's because France and Spain owned the South on and off over the centuries.
So the cops show up at this fucking hotel where he was staying because this hero woman that worked at the desk recognized his dumbass and called the cops. So they bring out the British equivalent of the SWAT team and they all go in there. Ironically, at least from what I've heard, they arrested him with no trouble because they thought because he had all that shit, it's like, oh shit, he's gonna like come out shooting. That's why they sent the SWAT team in there. But actually he came out pretty quietly. He opened the door a little bit and then he did come out. And eventually they made him lay down in the hall and he surrendered. And I've heard that he said, "You wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you?" And I was like, is that some kind of sick fucking joke? Like what you did? Like, oh, now they're not allowed to shoot you? I just shot him in the head just for that. Holy shit, what an asshole. But yeah. So yeah. So they arrested him without any trouble, thankfully. They did find the murder weapon, the same 9mm that he had shot Ian Broadhurst with under the bed. Had his DNA on the trigger and everything. I believe he had 6,000 pounds in cash, some fake IDs. And as I said, they're pretty sure he was on he was going to go to France is where he was going to go. So they did finally get this motherfucker after 5 days after he shot the cop. So he was on the run for 5 days. As I said, Florida actually kind of wanted him back, but I think they were just kind of like that. They didn't bother. But now, if they ever let him out in the UK, I think Florida's pretty interested in getting him back for the Marcus Mueller murder because he was behind that as well. So they put him on trial in Newcastle, and it was a 2-week trial. Now, he pled not guilty to everything, even though it was all on fucking tape. Jesus Christ. He said, yeah, he owned the gun and all the ammo and everything like that. He admitted that. But he didn't admit the murders. He made up this story that it was a friend of his from Florida who had borrowed his gun and did the murder, who he called Mr. X. And I'm like, is that another joke? Do you really think that anyone's going to buy that crap? Nobody did, thankfully. He said, I can't say who he is because something bad might happen to him or something bad might happen to me. It was some kind of fucking conspiracy or something. I was like, yeah, okay. But, obviously the prosecution were like, dude, we have your voice on the tape. We have the whole tape. The cops recorded the whole thing. It's like, we have your stupid face on the fucking CCTV buying the paper and buying the candy bar that they found you eating a little while away. Your fingerprints are on the newspaper. Your fucking DNA is on the trigger of the gun that killed the dude. It's like, what the fuck else do you need, right? And also, as they did more research into the case, his ex-wife, who, at that point she had divorced him, who he had married in the UK, she actually knew a lot of shit about him. It was like, yeah, man, he always had all these packed suitcases. He had drugs and guns and all kind of crap in there. And he was always kind of all these fake IDs and shit. So she came and testified against him too. So it's looking pretty bad. So the jury only deliberated for 3 hours. And he eventually got convicted of all counts. And he got a whole life tariff. According to my notes, this is only the 25th full life tariff given in British history.
You know what I mean? Not like candy.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly the same thing because I think in the U.S. it's they have 25 to life or whatever, and then after a certain time you can get paroled depending on what you did.
Depends on the state.
But the thing about the UK, I think if you get a whole life tariff, I think they're just kind of like, well, you're just going to be in there unless we decide to let you out, which we probably won't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So they did do that. They gave him a whole, and they were really pissed off because, like I said, just like in the U.S., like you kill a cop, like they don't like that very much. You know what I mean? They're gonna nail your ass. You're gonna
get at least life.
They're gonna nail your ass to the wall.
Yeah.
And they did that over there too. Like they were just kind of like, nope, not having it. And like I said, the cop that he killed was like a really nice dude, like according to everybody. And they were just like, there was just no reason for you to do that. You know what I mean?
Very rarely can you kill a cop and get off with it. There was one guy that got justifiable homicide. Cop came up, cop pulled him over, came up, pulled a gun on him before anything happened. And the dude thought the cop was going to shoot him. He pulled a gun on the cop and shot and killed him. This is in Mississippi.
I mean, I could see that.
The cop says the cop pulled a gun on me for no reason, fucking, and they had it on video.
Yeah, because they all body
and the guy walked.
Nowadays.
Says, "Yeah, justifiable homicide." There was no reason for the cop.
Well, see, that's good. I'm actually glad.
There was no reason for the cop to pull a gun on him.
Because I've seen some cops do some questionable shit. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was a newer cop.
Yeah. Like that one that video that we saw where he just shot that lady that was like
shot that lady
in her kitchen in her apartment.
Yeah, and she called them.
Yeah, she called them because she thought there was an intruder, like there's someone out back or something.
She definitely had a mental problem.
Yeah, but like she wasn't.
He thought she was going to throw the pot of boiling water on her, but I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, but there was a lot. There was shit like that.
He way overreacted.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I hadn't seen the Mississippi case in a long time. The cop pulled the guy over and overreacted like crazy. And
it happens. They're just people like everybody else.
And black dude was like, "This dude's gonna kill me," and fucking shot the cop.
I can't say I blame him, honestly.
Yeah, and it was just over.
I'm kind of glad he got off with it because normally you would.
Justifiable homicide.
Normally you wouldn't.
Pulled a gun on him without any.
So it must have been like crystal clear.
Oh.
It must have been crystal clear that he shot him with no provocation.
Yeah, it was fast.
Because a lot of times when that happens, the cop will be like, "Oh, he reached in his pocket and I thought he was going for a gun or something." He'll come up with some excuse.
From what I remember, the cop comes into frame, fucking gun already fucking drawn on the dude, and the dude's still in the car. And
yeah, there's no reason for that.
Yeah. Then the fucking dude freaked out and fucking grabbed a gun and fucking started shooting back at the cop. They got a gunfight, killed, and the cop got hit.
Yeah.
And it was over nothing. You know, like plates.
Just dumb.
Yeah.
People are just way too high strung.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out. You know what I mean?
It was enough for the fucking state of Mississippi to drop to
so like I said, it must have been fucking crystal clear.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I don't remember exactly what happened.
So the thing about it, so he gets the whole life tariff. Now, from what I've heard, he got, like, his convictions were upheld in 2006 because he filed appeals, obviously, as they always do. But they overturned the whole life order. But they also said that he could get parole, but it was going to be, like, a long way away. But the thing about it is that if he ever did get parole, the state of Florida has already expressed interest in extraditing him back to Florida for murder for Marcus Mueller and attempted murder on his girlfriend, Michelle Stanford. So even if he did get out of prison in the UK, which I doubt is ever going to happen, then he's going to get extradited to Florida and his ass will probably be put in prison here. So he's never getting out. You know what I mean? Now, and another thing saying why he's never getting out, I mean, he tried to, like, escape once too. But what he did, October 10th, 2017, I think it was, or right around then. It might have been later. He's 51, about 51 years old at this stage. He actually grabbed a female prison officer, Allison Smith, and started stabbing her, like with a shank kind of thing that he'd made. Like it was just like a sharpened bar or something. And he stabbed the shit. She lived, like she survived. But, you know, she was kind of fucked up, as you would be. So he
what was the reason?
I think he wanted to get transferred to another prison.
Yeah, sounds right.
I think was the reason that he gave, or they thought that's what the reason was. But yeah, she was she's pretty fucked up, but she did survive.
Yeah.
Now, so he got another charge. They were trying to get him attempted murder, but I guess they just got wounding with intent. But he got another life sentence on top of that.
For that?
Yeah.
They can give you life for attempted murder?
Yeah. So they gave him another life sentence on top of that.
Most states can't do that here.
So, I mean, I think he would still be eligible for parole in, I think, 2047, but he'll be 80 years old at that stage. And like I said, if they ever let him out, if they ever let him out in the UK, which I doubt, Florida will take him.
That dude's never getting out.
Because he's still wanted for murder in Florida.
Yeah.
And attempted murder.
And I don't think England has what we would call penitentiaries, which is like prison colonies, like Angola. We were talking about it earlier in the comment section, where it's open, where it's like a, you know what I mean? It's like a prison town in the middle of nowhere. You can't really run because there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Because, you know, the United States is big. So I guess it's just fortress-style prisons.
Most of them, as far as I know, yeah, most of them are.
Man, that would fucking drive you crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably why he wanted to move. He got sick of being in that. So he wanted new surroundings.
But the fact that he just like grabbed a random ass woman that worked there and started stabbing her, I mean,
well,
Jesus
there might
Christ.
probably more to it than that. He probably also didn't like her, and she might have been unpopular. So
well, that's a big leap.
So he did is he picked.
I don't even know if he knew her, honestly.
Those dudes know the staff. They know all the fucking ins and outs every fucking day. You know what I mean? Fucking, they knew who she was. She might have been the least popular one. So he decided to pick that one as the one to help him transfer.
Didn't work though.
Yeah, but you know, he thought about it. They had time to think about it.
This dude, we do a lot of shows about criminals like this, serial killers and stuff. This dude, I have no fucking idea like what the fuck is going on in his head. Probably nothing. I would imagine it's probably just like an echo chamber in there. You know what I mean? It seems like. What the fuck is this dude thinking? He just does dumb ass shit.
Just impulsive.
Yeah, it seems like he's just a very impulsive, and like you said, that might be a symptom of tren use.
Well, no, when you're on tren, you're like that, but when you're off of it, it goes away. You recover.
Maybe he's just an asshole.
Yeah, he's probably an asshole.
And then that just amplified it.
I think he was on tren. Some of the shit that he did, he was on tren. But I think when he was in England, when he killed the cop, I don't think he was on tren.
Yeah, see, I was not really, because it seemed like most of the stuff that I saw, he was still going to the gym and like doing like in the bodybuilding scene when he was in the UK, but I'm not sure he was doing steroids or anything like that to the extent that he was doing in the US, because I don't think he was still dealing it or anything like that.
Well, they have him there.
Yeah.
But he was just probably doing regular maintenance stuff. You know what I mean? He was
yeah,
just on
I don't think he was on anything like.
Right.
Not that I could determine, but I could be wrong about that. So it's just like
they can get.
I don't think he was as because he was getting slightly older at this stage. He was in his 30s at this point, so he wasn't competing anymore.
Probably already at the size to where he pretty much wanted to be anyway. So you don't require as much.
Yeah, because everybody said he was still hung out at the gym and everything like that, and he was still like a real big dude. But they also said that because there's a couple pictures of him, he looks like fucking different in every single picture of him that I saw. Like there's one picture of him where he looks like a real. Like, you can still tell he's a bodybuilder, but, like, he looks real puffy or, like he had gained some weight. Like, he had been on steroids and then stopped and then, like, started gaining weight. So I heard that he had kind of gained some weight, too. Yeah. Like, not muscle weight, like, kind of was porking out a little.
I'd have to see him. He might have been on Dianabol, which that'll make you a whole lot of water, or Deca.
Yeah. Now, I know he was on Dianabol at some point, but that might have been earlier. Like I said, he started taking steroids and that kind of stuff when he was in high school. And as far as I know, took it all through his teens, 20s, and possibly into his 30s. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much of it he was taking when he was in the UK, because I don't think it was as much. Yeah. He was still like weightlifting and stuff, but I don't know how much of the stuff he was taking when he was over there.
I love Dianabol, but it makes you feel sexy as a motherfucker. You think you're so good looking, and then you look in the mirror and you've got a fucking pie face, man. Your face is just fucking swollen up. It's because you're carrying all this methyl estrogen, and it's like a type of estrogen you can't get rid of. Now, estrogen, you can get rid of it. It just takes longer. Your system can't metabolize it. And that fucking that type of estrogen makes you feel sexy as a motherfucker. You're walking, and you look like shit. You look like the fucking Michelin Man. You feel good on it though. But I was taking injectable Dianabol. It's an old school steroid. When it first appeared, it was in pills, and dudes were taking it because most dudes would have no problem taking pills. It's a very 1960s type steroid. It feels good. You can gain some muscle, but it's just not really worth all the water weight. Danibal's a lot better. But he was on it just because it was pills and it's easy to get. Probably where he was at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really...
But that pie face look, it could be that he gained fat, but probably...
Yeah, because he for real looked like a thumb in this one picture of him.
Probably more likely he was on
some... It was just like head and neck were like the same width.
If he was taking Danabol before, he was probably taking Danabol again in pill form, which is kind of sometimes easy to get, and you'll hold a lot of water weight. It makes you feel fucking really good. You just look like shit on it.
Which is hilarious. Like walking around thinking like...
My driver's license photo is I'm on D-ball, but I look like fat as a fuck.
Because he was so upset like when he got the thing back. He's like, oh my god.
Look how I look.
It's like heads big around. It's like pretty funny. I remember because I was with him that day when he went to the DMV like to get it renewed.
Yeah, I look like a fat boy in that shit.
Yeah. Nobody's driver's license picture is bad. Like, actually, my old driver's license picture that I took back in 2008 or 2009 was awesome. I wish I could have kept that forever.
Yeah, with that little cute red hair?
I had short red hair. They let me keep it for, like, a long time, but then I had to get it renewed.
Yeah, and she almost looked like Lilu from fucking...
I did. I looked really cool in that picture.
Yeah, she looked really cute in it.
And then when they took the next one, I was just kind of like...
And you were skinny as shit, too, during the time that you took it.
I think that was, like, during the stage when I was at my thinnest.
Yeah.
So my face looked really thin.
Yeah. You could do that again, but you would be muscular if you got that thin. Because you have a lot of muscle on you now.
Well, yeah.
I just don't know if you could do it. You'd have to starve.
Yeah. Well, that's how I looked like that.
Right.
Because I didn't eat.
And you'd have to be on gear to keep from losing that muscle.
Because I didn't eat.
Yeah. And you don't want to starve.
No, I don't.
Fucking pain in the ass.
The older you get, there's like fewer joys in life.
Yeah.
It's like, eating is one of those joys.
It cooled down. What you could do is you could jog.
Fuck no, I'm not doing that.
Put you on that clan. And
I get on my bike. I like my bike.
Okay, you put you on clan, you get on that damn bike right there.
I'm not running around the fucking neighborhood. Fuck that shit.
It's good for your legs though, man. I'm thinking about doing it. Because it's cool right now.
For 5 minutes. Yeah. My temperature right now says 48 degrees.
Is that what it is out there?
All right. 48 degrees.
Do you want me to cook us something to eat?
If you feel like it.
I got sandwiches down there.
What do you feel like doing?
What time is it?
It's 10 o'clock.
Kind of late to be cooking, but I can make some sandwiches. I could boil up some of that spaghetti and then cook some and heat up those pre-made meatballs. Put some sauce on
That was pretty good, honestly.
I know, but it's all carbs, so...
Yeah, but like, how often do we eat that?
She's trying to talk me into doing that.
You do what you want, Tom. You're the one making the shit.
Sandwiches would be much faster.
You're the one making the stuff.
Sandwiches would be much faster.
You can make whatever you want.
Yeah.
We had Chinese food last night So here's the thing. So we went to the movies last night. We never, ever go out, like, on weeknights. Because usually, 3 nights a week we're doing the show. And then the other 2 nights, like Tuesday and Thursday... we're usually kind of tired, or we just, by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, man, I'm done with work. I'm going to put my jammies on and watch some fucking true crime and have some snacks. You know what I mean? But we were like, yeah, we're going to go to the movies. So it was really weird. It was really weird being out, like, on a weeknight, like at night. It was very strange. And so we're going to the movie theater, and we don't live in the middle of nowhere, but the closest movie theater is like 18 miles. It's 18 miles. Well, we always go to that one because it's nicer. And so we left at like 6 o'clock, or a little before 6 o'clock. And Tom's like, I'm going to take the toll road, like the whole way there, and it'll be faster. So we're on the toll road, which is the same road that we take to the club, except we get off on this other toll road. It's like a whole thing. So we're on here, and he's driving, and then he's like, we should be getting there by now. I'm like, I was like, yo, you just passed like a road that's like in Winter Park, which is where I used to live, like when I lived on my own like a long time ago. I said, I think we've gone too far. And then we found out that the toll road, which I feel like I knew, but I kind of forgot about it because I don't go that far. It used to just empty out onto I-4, which is like the main, corridor, like east to west. And it doesn't do that anymore. And so we had passed where we were going by probably like 20 minutes, I feel like. So we went like way out of the way. So finally I decided to put the map back on, and then we circled back around. And we got there like in time to eat and went to the movie and everything like that. But it's just kind of like... So then we ended up going to the mall and just getting Chinese food because that's already made. Yeah. And he ate the last of the Thai chicken.
Yeah, I thought they'd make some more, but they're like, nope.
No, because it's going to close soon. Yeah. Because I was like, that's the only thing I really like on there. And he was just like, he ordered it. And I was like, man, bitch, you
I would have given it to you. There wasn't much. You weren't missing anything. There was like 2 pieces of chicken in it.
I just had sesame chicken. Yeah, it was like good. Okay. So, yeah, I just said I hate running. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I do too.
All right, so we'll see him Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be back Friday. I don't know if we're going out because Barbarella, where we usually go Saturday night, is closed this week because Axe Trap is having a private party. So we can't go out Saturday night, at least not there. So Tom has expressed interest in going to Mannequins on Friday night, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know if we're going to go or if we're just going to blow it off. We got a Mannequin Saturday night too, but it's not as fun. So we'll see. But we'll be here Friday night anyway for the Sidetrack show, just like we always are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. This was, like I said, I knew there was going to be a lot of Gym Bro stuff because of the topic. I was kind of glad we got to do it because I knew Tom would have some insight into the situation. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good day tomorrow. And we will see you guys again for the Sidetrack show on Friday night. Good night.